Well, hey guys, how you doing? Welcome everybody. Not a huge crowd yet, but it is early and a kind of a specialized subject. So good to see you. Good to see you guys in the chat. Joe, Jaybird, Dan, how you doing, buddy? Drone Worship, and Jody's here. Drone Shots, and we've got you, Asgard, Canada's newest FPV pilot. Doing pretty good at it too. Great, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Drones 863. Justin, how you doing? I'm pretty sure it's Justin. Dan called you Justin, so I guess it is. Who else we got? Geez, I think that's about it so far. Okay, I don't expect a huge crowd tonight. This is kind of a specialized thing. Carlos had asked me if I would build a drone for him, and I said I'd be happy to, and we picked out a bunch of pieces, and one of the problems was trying to get some of these pieces. Everything seems to be out of stock everywhere. But we got a whole box full of pieces here, and we're going to try to turn it into a 3-inch Acrobrat. So let me bring Carlos in here.
Good evening.
Nice shirt.
Nice.
Good shirt. Good shirt. Yeah, I wore my blue shirt tonight too. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Good.
Saying hello to the peoples in the chat. What's up, Dan?
Oh.
Be nice, Dan.
All right. And I see you're in the chat room. There you are. Good.
Yep.
Hey, Rod is here. Hot Rod.
Night Train came in.
Good to see you. Yeah, Mike. How
Mr.
are you?
Michael.
Good to see you.
Drone 863. Justin, what's up?
So your job tonight, since I'm going to be over at the workbench building, is going to keep an eye on the chat and
I will.
Let me know.
There's
Ed. Any his questions or anything. Yeah, and
now I have a question about the DVR. Is it what do you call it? Does it get programmed with an app or no? Is it one of those?
It's a Runcam, and you pull up the QR code
Right.
Yeah, and you hold it in front of the camera, just like the Runcam 5 that Paul has. But once you get it set, you're never
Yeah, I
going to
know.
change it.
Right,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
can set it with
Oh yeah,
an
with the
app.
QR code. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. In
cool.
fact, it's probably got pretty much exactly. I would imagine pretty much the same camera in it as the Runcam 5 has inside. It's probably pretty much the same camera. So your job tonight,
Nice.
Carlos, your job tonight is to monitor the chat,
Got
and
it.
we're gonna have kind of a limited panel tonight. So if you guys didn't get invitations, I hope you're not insulted. But I wanted to keep it where we just concentrate on the building of this quad and don't get off into all the tangents like we always do when we get 16 people in the panel. But there is one more panel member that I did invite, and just for a
Did he
little
show
comic
up?
relief,
Well, you know what? It's also because if I have to walk away, hey, nice shirt. If I have to walk away, we have coverage, and vice versa.
There you go.
What's up,
So,
my brother Ed? Quick hello to
so-
BMAC. Ariels, who also joined us. Asgard, you already said hello to, and I
Yeah.
think that's about it. Jaybird Drone, I'm saying hello to personally.
Good, Brian, how you doing, buddy? Hi, Ed. This is the night of the blue tropical shirt.
This is the
see.
only
Apparently
one.
so.
I was just telling him I don't think I could go out in public with this, but
Wow.
not in this neighborhood. I don't know. We'll see.
He get mugged, that's what I told him.
Somebody think I'm a tourist. He's lost. Let's rob him.
Oh, gosh. All right, so we'll chat for a minute or two, and then we'll get right to work.
Can we
Now, this
also
is
go over
probably-
some of the pieces that were?
Well, yes.
Oh, you're going to do that?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm going to do that first.
Got it.
I have a whole plan.
Nice.
So we'll see, and if there's something that you want to see or you want to know that I missed, just let me know. And I'll be
I
happy
mean,
to
also
do it.
for the sake of the viewers, they can see what you're putting in as
Yeah.
well.
Now, I tonight I do have. I added another camera.
Oh, okay.
Let me make myself big. I have the of course the overhead view here, and if you look over on the left, there's a little tripod.
Ah, yes.
See it? And there's a cell phone sitting on there, and that has this view coming from it.
Oh, cool.
And that's a pretty nice view, so you'd be able to
Yeah.
see maybe even a little better what's going on from that angle. So we'll see how well that works out. And then of course, this was the I used that view for the intro because that's what Joshua Bardwell did the last time he had a live stream. Was he calls it his God Cam, and he had it
God
on
Cam,
for the whole introduction. And I said, if Joshua Bardwell can do it, by God, so can I. Since this is a workshop video and a build video, I'll just put the God Cam on and let it show the workbench. So there it is. So it's
Cool.
great to have buttons. I have many buttons here, and things happen when I push them. So there we go. Any other housekeeping we need to do before we get started? Bald Cam. Thanks, Brian.
I would
relabel
like
that.
to make a special announcement. This is my
Okay.
13th day in a row that I've flown every day.
Wow.
And it was
Incredible.
on a Friday.
What does
Yeah,
that mean? That's the
that's-
day you should be flying. Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday.
that means the weather's good. That
Hey,
means
hot
the
rod in
weather is
Daytona.
good.
It was sprinkling when I flew. But I flew anyway.
I flew in a
Well,
snowstorm.
Well, good. Well, good. Okay, so this is probably, I don't know, Carlos, is this okay, or do you think I just need to leave you guys out of the picture so that the
I think you could
building
leave us
stuff
out
can
and
be-
you get more
can be
drone view.
bigger?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
So we're gonna go. We'll go over to this camera here,
And I can take this shirt off, not wear it in public.
and
No, I'm kidding.
I'll make it bigger. So how does that look? Does that
Perfect,
Look,
perfect.
That looks okay. All right.
Yep.
So
If
what
anything
we
needs to be
got here-
changed, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So what we got here, and Carlos, you let me know if you think that the overhead camera might give you a better shot on anything, and I'll switch.
Got
to
it.
Okay. So let me move my push buttons a little closer where I can push them to switch scenes. Okay. This is professional show business, guys, all the way, man. All right. Here's what we got. Here's what we're gonna build. We're gonna build one of these. Oh wow, that picture looks great. Look at that.
Sharp.
That's better. That's better than the overhead camera, isn't it?
Oh.
That's a cell phone.
We'll
Yeah.
have to see. Looks good though.
Anyway, this is an
Hide your
Acrobrat that I
numbers.
built for. I don't care. You want to put my numbers on your quad? Go right ahead. If somebody finds it, they'll send it to me instead of you.
That's a good idea, actually.
Anyway, this is a Acrobrat frame. One of the nice things about the Acrobrat frame is the camera actually mounts.
Okay, Mitch, quick question. Can you zoom out a little bit with that camera?
I can.
Just a little.
Hold on a second. I have to do it by pinching on the.
I'll tell you what.
Oops.
The other way. Good.
Yeah.
Right there, right there. Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Now we see most of it. Good. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And this one I built up with a DJI Air unit in it, and I put the flight stack in the front, whereas normally the flight stack would go in the middle, and the VTX would go in the back. But I had to rebuild this thing, and this is a Carlos, you've seen this fly. It's a great flying little quad. A lot of fun. It's got the
And flight time.
DJI Air unit. It's got a powered lost quad finder on it. It's got a GPS unit sitting out here on the arm, so it's got GPS rescue, and it's pretty nice.
You have an
So
extra one of
Carlos,
those?
Any extra one of what?
Lost quad deal?
We can get you one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about $15.
Uh-oh. All right, leave it.
They're not.
No, I'm only kidding.
They're not expensive. I gotta swing over here and get this fan pointed more at me because it gets warm with all these lights and computers and everything else going on.
Special warm welcome to my friend there, Bob Casey Ariels.
Bob
He's just joined
Casey, how
us.
you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Good to see all you guys. Look at that. And I know that there are a lot of other live streams on tonight. I don't think any of them started at 7. I think Kelly comes on at 8. I think that Oz by Drone comes on at 9. And we want to get this thing built for Carlos, and we wanted to do it live.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, everybody's got shows scheduled all the time, and I figured I just have to do it. This is a specialized thing anyway.
Yep.
I don't think Oz by Drone's crowd is going to be interested in watching what we're doing. So we're just going to do it, and if somebody doesn't like it, what can I say?
Sorry.
What can I say? Not even sorry, actually, but we do the best.
No,
We do,
man, you gotta do what. No, you just gotta go for it. Screw
we
it,
got to
you know?
we got to do it, and I think that's going to maybe my new philosophy on YouTube.
Nike, just do it.
And
Just
Mitch,
do it. Okay. Yes.
we like hanging with you, brother.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
One of my favorite drone pilots out there has joined us, Artco Drone Solution.
Artco Drone Solution. Hey, Art, how you doing, buddy? Good to see
All right.
you. Thanks for coming in.
Let's say hello. I think we said hello. Let's start building.
Okay, let's go over the parts first. Here's what they come. This is the
cool.
frame kit. Comes. Let me see if the overhead camera isn't better for this. Yeah, we're going over the parts here. Let me zoom in a little bit here. And this is how the frame comes. It comes in this plastic bag with a bunch of pieces and screws and maybe some directions. So we've got the frame in this bag. We've got a Rush Mini video transmitter. This is going to be an analog quad, and the Rush Mini is an 800 milliwatt VTX with 20 by 20 mounting holes. It's very tiny, it's very light, and that came with what they call the Rush Cherry antenna. So that's what we're putting on for a VTX. The flight controller is the new Diatone Mamba. Look at this packaging, man. Let me zoom in because this packaging deserves a little show here. The Diatone Mamba F722 mini flight controller, and they put a little card up top. And this is the first time I've ever seen this, but they actually mounted the flight controller to a plastic
So you have to unscrew it even?
plate. Yeah, so you have to unscrew it. Or Carlos, we could just glue
No.
this into the
Yeah,
quad
no.
and mount it upside down.
Extra
But
protection.
comes with XT60, which we're going to change out for this XT30 right here that I have, and comes with all the cables and wires, which when we get to it, we'll open all that stuff up. For the camera, we have.
Curious, is that stack rated for both? What do they call it? 4S, 6S, or just
Yes, it
4S? It is. Okay, cool.
It's the stack's rated for 6S, but the motors are for 4S. You don't want to put 6S.
No, I understand. Jay Bird just left you a $5 chat there.
Oh, thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate that. Great. I love it. Okay, here's the camera that we've got. This is the Runcam Hybrid 2. The Runcam Hybrid 2. It is. This is handy to know. DC 5 to 20 volts. It's one of these dual cameras, which is really
Nice.
really pretty cool.
Ed, isn't that what you have?
Sure, I mean, it's a different brand.
But
It's
dual camera,
RCA.
rather. But
And
dual.
the deal is the FPV camera is. Yeah, the FPV camera, the little camera here, is a Runcam Phoenix, which is a damn good camera. And the DVR camera on top is 4K, 30 frames a second, into the DVR on the little board here, and it's got a SD card slot in there. And this will be mounted up in the front of the quad, right where the flight controller is on this one. Let me get it there.
I actually tried to order one of those cameras for my Cine Pro, and
Yeah.
they were out of stock.
Well, I'll tell you, I had to look high and low to get the pieces for this, but this is it's $100 camera, so it better be good. I looked at I looked because it's Carlos's $100, so it really better be good.
I know. That's the best part of it.
That's the best
looked-
part of it. I like that.
I looked at I looked all over the place, and I was trying to find the Runcam Split 3, which was a little cheaper, but that was just a single camera one. So this thing ought to really take great video, because the videos that I've seen from this camera are almost GoPro-like. So we'll see. Like I say, I don't really care too much because it's Carlos's.
That's comforting.
Yeah, I know. You know I care. And guess what, folks? Flash, the motors were made in China. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Can you?
Couldn't imagine.
Surprise. These are HGLRC 140. I think they're 1407s. Just a good 3800 kV, I think. They are. It doesn't even say on the bag, but.
Motors usually have print.
But you know that they're good, Carlos, because they're purple.
Oh man, I love the purple motor.
And
Those
everybody,
are like the blue streak.
everybody knows that a purple motor is going to fly better than a blue motor. So, I got you the purple ones. Anyway, they're nice looking little motors, 5mm shaft. They are the HGLRC Flame, 1407, 3600 kilovolts.
I just want to interrupt you for a quick second. Mr. BMAC gave you a $10 chat.
Brian, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that.
And welcome to
Keep this up.
Facebook.
Well, yeah, man. Oh God, I have to explain. Because I have to hold my hat in my hand, and I have to take a second to explain, and I will as soon as I get done showing the parts. So that's all the pieces for the quad, and then what we have for Carlos is Crossfire. Carlos is going to join the Crossfire world, so we got him the Crossfire module for the radio and receivers and an Immortal T antenna, and we're going to put Crossfire in this puppy. And then I'm going to send it to Carlos, and I'll send him the module, and all he'll have to do basically is plug the module into the back of his radio, and it'll be all bound and ready to go. It just needs to make one setting on a transmitter to tell it it's an external module, and then away we go.
Mr.
Hugh wants me
Fancy
to know.
Pants.
Hugh asks if anybody knows. Hugh asks if anybody knows how to calculate the thrust of a motor. The thrust of a motor is dependent on the prop size. So I don't know how you would calculate the thrust of a motor by itself, because if you put a higher pitched prop, maybe it won't have more thrust, but I think it does. But no, Hugh, that's out of my above my pay grade as far as that. So anyway, let me take a second and explain why I'm on Facebook. Because many times I've said, I got these things on my head. In case you wonder what these red things are, they're something that I need to put cream on, and the cream makes them red. So.
If you didn't say anything, we wouldn't have noticed.
Well, somebody pointed them out
I
to me
just
one-
like to say this, and that is about the KV of the motors and the thrust and all that. Yes, the thrust, though, is a proponent of a combination of the two, because the prop size and stuff that you run on a particular KV motor is like the transmission for the motor. So if you change the less pitch props is like a higher gear.
Correct.
Go ahead.
And the KV of the motor also is very important, because what KV means is 1,000 revolutions per volt. So if you want, let's suppose you want your props to spin at 30,000 RPM. Okay. Well, let's approach it from the other way. If you have a 4S battery, let's just assume a 4S battery is 16 volts. Okay. At 16 volts, if you had a 16,000 kV motor, wide open, it would spin at 16,000 RPM, 1,000 RPM per volt. That would be a 10,000 kV motor.
I think it was 100.
A 20,000 kV motor would spin at 32,000 RPM. Okay? 2,000 kV means 2,000 RPM for every volt. So what happens is this. If you're building a 4S quad, for example, and you put 2,400 kV motors on it, 4S is 16 volts times the 24 volts is going to give you what? 40,000, roughly 40,000 RPM, which is about where you're going to be with a 5-inch quad. If you go put a 6S battery with those same kV motors, you're going to be much higher than that, way too high, which is why they'll put a lower kV motor on a 6S quad. Because if you're increasing the voltage, you have to lower the kV to get the same RPM, and that's what you're looking for. So there's so many factors and variables that play into this formula that the easiest way to do it, and the way that I do it, to figure out what size motors, what size props, what size batteries, is find a quad, somebody who builds a quad like iFlight or EMAX, and find one exactly the size that you want to build, and look at what they put on it. Look at the motor size, the kV of the motor, and the props they use. And chances are, if you're very close to that, you'll be in the ballpark. So there you go. Okay, Facebook, real quick. I have avoided Facebook like the plague. I certainly have political differences with those people, but it appears that this whole drone community of ours that it lives and runs on Facebook. And I also have 2 kids who post pictures of my kids and grandkids on Facebook, which I've kind of been missing out on. So I thought that since we're doing the drone meet next year, and we're going to have a lot of communication going on, and we're going to want to get a lot of messages out, and since I didn't want to have to rely on Jim or Carlos or anybody else to do it, I figured I'd just do it myself. So I went ahead and created a Facebook, and I'll stay with it. I already got, I don't know, I clicked a bunch of friend requests and got a bunch of friends now. So away we go. I have no idea what I'm doing on Facebook, but I'll figure it out. And then Carlos got me into Messenger, and my phone has not stopped dinging all day long. Carlos knows what I'm talking about. So I turned off the notifications for a while.
Smart man.
Yeah. Every 2 seconds, ding, ding, ding.
So you have now joined the cesspool of Facebook.
That's what I called it. I said, yeah. I have dipped my big toe into the cesspool that is Facebook. And judging by some of the stuff that's already come across my Facebook feed, I wasn't far off with that cesspool.
A quick hello to Mr. Michael Blade,
Sure.
joined us, and the View Chaser, Danny.
Michael, how
What's
you
up?
doing, buddy? Danny, good to see you. Okay, so let's get started here, man. Let me go back and
Michael Blade,
You
that's
ju-
Ed, not Bob, just for the record.
all right. So here we go. All right, let's see. Well, we only wasted 25 minutes before we started working, but that's okay. Now, we're going to be doing these FPV live streams again, build workshops every Monday night now. So on Monday night, this coming Monday, is when we're going to actually finish up this build, because I don't want to rush through it. I want to take my time and answer questions along the way and do it right. So the first thing we're going to do is, what?
I would just like to say, some of our northern friends, they actually got some snow today. Or
No. You're kidding. Really?
Bob got some snow, yep.
Wow.
Didn't stick, though.
It was warm. It was warm here today. All right, let's see. So, I don't know how much narration you're going to need here.
We'll
Standoffs?
provide that for you.
Okay. So we got a bottom plate.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he's handling the bottom plate now. He's twisting it back and forth. Deciding which way to go. No, okay.
Let's see the extensive documentation that came with the frame. Yep, nice and extensive.
That's what's great about this hobby. Okay. And we have gummies, and we have all kinds of little hardware. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the hardware. And that's why I like these blue pads, because they have these little cutout areas where you can,
Oh, yeah, they don't fall
little
out.
tray kind of things to
Yeah, I love
hold the
mine.
hardware. Yeah. I was thinking about maybe getting a bigger one, but
Quick hello to Mr. Thomas Ariels, also who joined us. What's up,
Tomas,
Tomas?
another one of my new Facebook friends. And what amazed me is I have already gotten friend requests from drone people that I've never heard of, but they're drone people at least. You know what I mean? And I got an invitation.
So they picked up on the name drone in there or something.
I guess I also got an invitation to join is it Drone Nation Facebook group or something? You guys know anything about that?
Not familiar.
Anyway, I'll take a look at it. I don't want Facebook to become my life, and it's obvious that it can if you're not careful.
No, I never go there. I just use it for Messenger.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you use Messenger. God, look at all the teeny little screws and spacers here. Okay, and these are the spacers. This quad has no standoffs going straight up and down. It's got sides that
On
go
the
on
side, yeah.
that go on like this,
Uh,
and it's got rubber grommets that go in these holes. And what that does is that kind of shock mounts the whole camera and battery mount assembly away from the frame and motors,
huh.
which is pretty nice. So these big grommets go into these spaces here, and you all know how much I love putting grommets in.
Yeah.
And
A
these
little
are
bit
tight.
of spit help.
Yeah, a little spit.
Yeah, and these are tight. Oh my God, these are tight ones too. This is like, talk about a square peg in a round hole. Putting these things is like. Now I know that I did this before, because when I look at my Acrobrat underneath there, you can see right there that I don't know if you can see it, but the grommets are there. Let me.
He's
Let
been
me
here
switch
before.
this up here and see. Let me see if this does it. There, can you see the grommets underneath there? Right here.
I see him.
Can you see them? So obviously, I was able to accomplish this once before. So let's Let's stop. So you guys can sing and dance and do whatever else you might want to do to entertain folks. While
I wanted to ask Michael Blade what Ron he's talking about with the Drone Nation. I think he said that's Ron's page.
oh, is that
Ron?
Ron Brown? Is that Ron Brown?
Oh, Ron Brown. Gotcha.
Well, it said something about being associate. No, that was a guy. Okay, that was a guy in Orlando that sent me a friend request that I'd never heard of. That wasn't the Facebook group. But there are tricks to putting these grommets in. A lot of times you put something in the center of it.
Asgard has an alias on Facebook.
A lot of people do.
I think that's what he said, right?
Man, this might be one of these 5.
Oh, Justin.
Have you
last time-
applied any saliva yet?
I did, yeah, but the last time I saw somebody put grommets on in a YouTube video like this,
Yeah, I tried
a French voice came up and said 6 hours later. I'm serious about that. I laughed my ass off. I thought that was very
funny.
clever. Yeah, 6 hours later.
Obviously, he edited
All right,
out some portion of that.
I'm on to it now, I think. I'm on to it. Now, this is what a woman having a baby must feel.
Right?
But compared to
God,
passing
Maybe you'll
stones.
get quicker at it the second one bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, it's like passing a kidney stone here. But they fit in. That's the
Remarkable part about it.
Yeah, the remarkable part is that they do end up fitting when you they're just big, and they're not soft gummies either. They're pretty stiff rubber. There we go. Hey, is this it?
In like
All right,
4
guys.
minutes.
All right, guys. I'll see you Monday. We'll see you Monday. That's
Yeah.
part 1 of the build video.
I got one grommet in.
6
Got
minutes
one
later.
Got one grommet in. Let's make
How
sure
many
that
of those damn things you got to do?
4.
Okay, well, 4 ain't too
4,
bad.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
got one
4.
out of the way.
I got one, but I think the first one is always developing the particular technique for it.
Exactly.
Now there are smaller grommets here, but these smaller grommets, they actually have a system where those grommets go into the frame right here in these, and the flight stack mounts through these grommets, and that really and these are a little easier to get in, so I'm not won't have to struggle so much with those. So I'm gonna get the first 4 grommets out of the way, take a break, go take a shower, and all right, let's see if I remember what I did was I started with the top. I don't know if you can see this. Let's try this. Maybe this will be better. If you want to see me struggle with this thing.
Close
Spit.
up. Did you add the saliva or no?
I did. I spit on it. It's good to have fingernails to do this.
I have to remember to disinfect it when I take it out of the box.
I would, Carlos. I'd
Hey, by the way,
spray hand sanitizer all over it.
it's at least, 4 weeks since the meetup that we had?
It has
Maybe
been
5.
4 weeks. 4 weeks since it was 4 weeks ago tomorrow. Yeah.
And we have not heard of anybody contacting the.
Haven't heard of anybody catching COVID from it. So, and God knows we sure didn't take any precautions whatsoever, did we?
No. Just makes you wonder and goes to show.
There was hugging, there was kissing, there was
Oh yeah.
close talking, there was hand.
Me and Ed at the hotel at night, cuddling.
Yeah, you and Ed. Yeah,
King size bed.
yeah, cuddling and everything. Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you.
I slept on the couch, I'll have you know.
Well, that's what you say. That's not what I heard.
Yeah, well,
Ed's a gentleman. That's all I gotta say.
Ed's a gentleman, huh?
Ed's a gentleman. Yeah.
You don't see any suggestions in the chat there about the better method of putting grommets in, do you?
Mineral oil. No, I
No,
just
that's yeah.
it'll make
Mineral
everything
oil.
greasy forever.
I'd never find it. The thing would launch across the room and disappear into the black hole where all the other shit that I've launched across the room
What
goes.
about a little bit of
S,
watered down dish soap or something?
like SD cards. Well, you don't want to make it too slippery.
SD cards in the grass.
SD cards that when you pop them out, they
Yep.
you miss them and they spring, and the spring sends them flying. There must be 3 or 4 of them buried in the carpet in this room alone that I can't find.
Hello, Mr. Rat. RH.
Hey, Dan, look at that. Okay, that's
2 in?
That's 2
Out of how many?
out of 4.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Well, four of these big ass ones.
Right.
He got quicker on the second one.
Yeah, I told you I came up with a little better method of doing it.
Well, I mean, those holes that you got to put it in don't look round; they look elongated.
They are elongated because it goes on an elongated tab. See,
wow,
the
another
tab is-
$5 super chat from Artco Drone Solution.
Well,
Solutions.
thank you, Art. Thank you very much, my friend.
He wants to know if you thought about head modeling.
Head
After he does his
just for that,
underwear
I'm giving you
commercials.
I'm giving you this picture. No, but I can tell you one thing I've decided that I don't want to become a professional grommet installer as a career.
That's such a segue for a bad joke there, Art.
Yeah. But we won't go there.
But we're 18 and under.
God.
Artco. That
You
was
know,
nice
this
of Art.
is
That
this
was
is why they sell these frames for a lot cheaper than they sell the assembled quads, because they don't have to do this. They don't have to hire people to do this. Man, I'm bleeding on my
how
fingernails
thick
are
is that
bleeding.
frame?
Ah, shit. This is I think this is about 2 millimeters.
2 millimeter.
The
What
side,
pin
the
when you
side,
held it
the
up?
side plate. Yeah, the side plate is 2 millimeters. The bottom plate is.
Mitch, I have to
It's
apologize. I said head, he wrote hand. It was my bad.
Oh.
A hand model.
You did.
Yes.
You did that. You did that on purpose.
I'm
so
sorry.
You didn't do that by accident.
My glasses, I gotta clean them.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Well, that was a fail. That last one. I thought I started it and started doing it, and I thought maybe, and it didn't, and it failed and popped out.
Mitch has manly hands.
I got old man's hands, man. You know.
Yeah, well, that too, but I wasn't going to go there.
You know, when you get old, things get your hands. You see every vein. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought that was normal.
It didn't used to.
There
When I
goes
was
for me.
when I was 20, it didn't look like that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember back that far.
But I'll tell you what, a really funny thing that, and I don't know if it's ever hit anybody else, but I inherited a lot from my father genetically, a lot of physical traits from my father, and like the bald head and all that. And my father was a great deal older than me. He was 46 or 47 when I was born. Okay, so he was my father, but basically, in age-wise, he was like a grandfather's age. He was almost a full extra generation ahead of me. And his hands showed his age, like my hands, veins and everything. And one day, long after my father had died, I looked down at my hands, and it just hit me that those were my father's hands that I remembered as a kid. Does that ever happen to you guys?
Absolutely.
Occasionally, I've seen my hand look like my father's hand, but my father's hands were deformed because he had arthritis.
Oh,
So they messed him up by the wrists.
but
They
I
cut him
looked.
open.
I looked at my hand one day, and because my father was a golfer, so we always had a tan. I looked down and I said, "God, that's my father's hand."
I don't think the veins are a sign of old age. More the wrinkles, I would think.
Yeah,
Not
well,
that
the
you
veins,
have any. I'm just
the
saying.
veins happen because you're as you get older, you lose all your
Circulation.
fat, all the fat in your skin here, and you get
Okay.
it all in your gut.
Yeah.
It migrates on you. All right, we got one more to go, guys. I'm sorry that this is taking up the first 20 minutes of the build, but
That's it. Little lick.
not real exciting. But this is almost as exciting as screwing motors on. So, I wondered, Carlos, sometimes if when you're doing a live build, if it wouldn't be better to get all this tedious crap out of the way first.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say anything.
But on the other hand,
I mean, just this part. But then
on
you
the
can
other
also
hand,
give people a realistic view of what pain in the ass it could potentially
that's
be.
that's what I was just going to say next. On the other hand, when you see a build video that lasts 20 minutes, you lose sight of the fact that the actual build probably took 4 hours because you were busy searching for just the right size screw that you needed, or you were searching for a standoff that you had to dig out of somewhere, or you had to look up shit online to figure out where to solder something to. All that stuff goes into building these things that you normally don't see on a well pre-planned out live video. So that's why I thought, well, let's just do it au naturel here and see. And let the chips fall, and if we don't get it done, we'll pick up where we left off. In the meantime, we can have a nice little live stream and conversation.
So, Mitch, not only is this a live stream, Drone Justin says, but he's also learning what's going to happen when he gets old, what to expect.
Well, for a picture now, so I can't see what's going on.
You could do, you know what? You could do worse, man, than me. I guess at my age, you could probably be in a lot worse shape.
You know, when you realize that you're getting old, you get these AARP invitations, and then you're getting these Pine Lawn Maple Grove Cemetery. They want you to pre-plan your death. It's like, give me a break already. Leave me alone.
You know, Carlos, for almost 25 years now, I've been getting AARP invitations. For 25 years. They start when
I've
you're
been getting them for a while, too.
They start when you're 50.
49. I thought it was like
And
49 and a half.
Yeah. And for 25 years, I take them and I throw them in the trash can and say, you're not getting me. That's what I say. You're not getting me. So
the
no
ones I don't
AARP.
like is from the funeral home, from the cemetery, rather.
Yeah, but I wish I had $1 for every piece of mail I get from Spectrum Cable. Having a very special deal for me. The same special deal they had yesterday and the day before and every day for the past 5 years. All right, so here's the frame, guys. Easy peasy.
Nice.
Easy peasy. Now, interestingly enough, at this point in the build, we'll put the motors on, and then you have to decide what the front and the back is. So I'm trying to see if there's any difference
you mean
whatsoever
as far as the frame?
as the bottom plate goes, as to what the front. I mean, there's a 20 millimeter holes here, stack holes here. There's the 20 millimeter stack holes in the center. There's the 20 millimeter stack holes in the back, and there's 2 holes and a hole here, 2 holes and a hole there. So
And the frame is exact front and back,
completely butterfly.
Gotcha.
Front to back. So once we pick the front, so we'll put the motors on, and the time we'll pick the front is when we determine which way we mount the flight controller. And then from that point on, the quad will have a back and the quad will have a front. Okay.
All right, real quick, can you give a real quick summary of what you're building? Michael Blade wants to know. I could just say a 3-inch Acrobrat with...
I'm building an Acrobrat. And you can now see how this is starting to look like it.
Yeah.
See? Here.
But it's going to have a built-in DVR, Michael.
Turn
Blade.
over the bottom. There you go. So
you don't have
exactly
to worry
the
about
same
GoPros.
frame. I got the frame in exactly the same place, so it's identical as far as the frame goes. 3-inch quad. It's going to have the Immortal T antenna, probably exactly in the same place, sticking off the back here. And
oh, you know what I forgot to mention? This Space Coast Meetup. If you haven't signed up already,
we've got a ways to
register.
go.
Yeah, but I want to plant the seed now. Save a $20 bill, starting today every week, in a coffee mug or somewhere.
We've got 10 We got 10 guys already
Registered?
signed up
Cool.
for this thing. Yeah, but I mean that was like in 3 days, and I'm not selling this thing. I mean, how many times, Carlos? We talked about it. Basically,
Oh no, it's not a matter of selling, but I want
basically, I
FPV
said,
people to come.
yeah, and camera drone guys. There's gonna be plenty for them, and I'll probably fly my Mavics at it too. But primarily, what we're looking for is an event for flying, a pilot's event. Not so much a photographer's event or a cinematographer's event, but a pilot's event. Some, ripping and flying, and we're making it 4 days. And it dawned on me today, because that happens every day.
Yeah,
Rim
I
shot,
know how
please.
I go.
Rim shot, yeah. It dawned on me today that one of the reasons that and again, I'm not trying to sell this to anybody, but all my life I've been an RC pilot, and all my life I've been going to radio control events. Okay, all over the country, year after year, model jet events, model big bird fly-ins where you fly the giant scale stuff, and especially the jet events, which I did, the turbine and jet events, which I did for like 10 years, and they were the highlight of my entire life. And what we did in these jet events is they were highly organized events. And we actually got the use of, because you need a long runway for these friggin' airplanes, so we actually were given the use of a municipal airport for 4 or 5 days, and sometimes even up to a week. An entire private airport that we pretty much took over and used for this event. We did one in Columbus, Ohio at the Charlie Brown Airport. We did one in Winnemac, Indiana. We did one up in Southern Illinois, in Paducah, Kentucky, Southern Illinois rather, in Metropolis, Illinois, right across the river from Paducah, at the Metropolis Airport, and that was for a week. And the thing that made these events what they were was you packed up everything and you went and you stayed day after day. You had 3 days, 4 days, 5 days of flying, and you had dinners and a banquet and maybe some little workshops on how to do things, and there were vendors that came and so. But the thing that made them events were the fact that they were multiple day things. There's always a headquarters hotel where everybody stayed. So during the day we were out at the field flying, at night we were at the hotel, or we went out somewhere to dinner, or we went out into the hotel lounge, and it was just a lot of camaraderie with the guys, and that's what made it good. And I noticed that there aren't a lot of drone events. There are FPV events. But not a lot of them. I mean, there are, there's races. There's the races, and there's a couple of, I know that Rotor Riot puts on an event. What do they call it? Help me out with that, guys. Rotor Riot puts on an event.
Yeah, but it's more fun when it's people you know and people that you associate with on YouTube.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Ed. The point I'm trying to make
Mr. Mike
is that
Roche. Hello, Mike.
Mike Roche, how you doing, buddy? The point I'm trying to make.
I'm not sure if he was asking, is this where did he ask, an FPV thing or a GPS thing?
No, it's everything.
Oh, he wrote no camera drones allowed, Mitch. I'm not sure if that's a question or a statement.
No, camera drones, absolutely. But the way that our event's going to be structured is there's going to be multiple flying sites, and there's going to be flying sites that are going to be over on the coast, by the beach, where the water, pretty shit.
Right.
And then there's big open, big park type places for the guys who want to fly FPV. And we expect that guys will group up and make arrangements, because we're going to try to come up with a schedule of suggestions of, if you want to fly camera drones, you might join up with a group of people and go here, there, or otherwise. And then we're going to have an online kind of message board, bulletin board, so guys can find out who wants to go where and join up with them. And so maybe while some guys are off flying on a causeway like the meet was this year, the rest, a bunch of us will be at the park flying FPV, and then at the end of the day, we'll all meet up at the hotel and socialize for the rest of the day, and do that for up to 4 days if you want to stay that long.
And that's That's the whole deal too, Mitch, is that area is ripe with opportunity for both styles of flying.
Well, of course it is. There's beautiful stuff with camera drones. So rather than have, and I'm not trying to badmouth anybody else's event. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think it's great. I would like to see an event every 2 weeks here in Florida, and I'd go to every one of them. I understand the guys up north, some people may have to make a choice. Well,
whatever
that's life.
Suits your
Wherever you think you'd have the most fun is fine with me.
And if you can make both, more power to you.
If you can make both, that's great. But I have a funny feeling that the fact that there are two about a month apart opens up. Maybe your work schedule wouldn't let you make one, but you could make the other. So now you get to go to a drone meet if you want.
Well, the other thing we were talking about is April 2nd is very close to Easter and
it's 2 weeks before Easter and right in the middle of spring break. Yeah, so you can't. Hotels are tight, rental cars are non-existent, airfares are high, and the weather generally sucks because you're at the end of March. That's our real windy season down here, as evidenced by what happened to us this year.
What happened to that saying?
The what?
The saying that March comes in like a lion and leaves like a lamb. It didn't leave like a lamb.
It didn't. No, it certainly didn't. It didn't, and it usually never does. So I don't know. Maybe they were talking about someplace other than Florida. But we're having this thing, and as far as we're concerned, we're not looking for any money out of it. We're not charging admission. We're not selling stuff. No, we're not selling merchandise.
What is it, like the tax commercial? Free. It's
free. Yeah. And Jim even volunteered to buy T-shirts and give them out to everybody that comes. Just because Jim and I are throwing a party and we want all our friends to come, and we're going to try to make it as nice as we can. But if 10 of you guys come, we'll have a ball.
Of course.
If 50 of you guys come, we'll also have a ball.
We'll have balls.
We'll have a ball. We'll have a ball. So
there are two
right
events,
now,
Mike Roche. Supposedly they're having one April 2nd, but that's not necessarily written in stone. But it's a tentative.
I don't know. It sounded like it was.
Is it?
From what I heard on that live stream last night with you and Matt.
No, I know.
Cundiff.
You never know. They might. Like we had a definite place, and then the Shrimp Fest came, so we had to change that. So
yeah. So
things can happen. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, another statement about this thing is I don't want this to turn into a controversy or our meat's better than your meat. I don't want drama. I don't want crap. I'll walk away from it before I have to put up with that nonsense. Carlos, you'll come down and the two of us will fly for a long weekend and and we'll have a ball too. Yeah. I mean, it's all about having fun for me. It's all about having fun. And okay, here's what we got, guys. I got the. Let me go back to this.
Both in Florida, Mike.
I got the.
That's for the stack.
The
right?
grommets, and there's little metal standoffs in them that allow the standoffs to. You see the metal? You can see them.
Yeah, you can see them.
So when you put the screw in, there'll be a washer. I guess there's got to be a washer to keep the whole thing from pulling out. I don't see a washer. Did I put? I didn't use it on mine because on mine I went ahead and moved the flight stack up to the front. Originally I had the flight stack here, but I'm trying to see whether the directions say to put a washer. Yeah, it shows a washer on that screw. And oh, there they are. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, here it is. It's in this bag.
Senior moment.
I'm allowed. I got an excuse.
Well, yeah, you qualify.
I got an excuse. Okay, so they give you these long stack screws here. But what I'm going to do is I could put the stack in now and then put the motors on since I'm already working with this. But I think I'd rather put the motors on first. So let's go ahead and get to that. There's a a lot of pieces involved in this frame. They even give you some antenna mounts, shock camera mounts. Yeah, this is a hell of a nice frame. And this frame, we're not going to tell anybody, but it's a knockoff of the Acrobrat.
Shh.
But $26 on Amazon. Hard to believe. Okay. Motors. I know the frame works because I've been flying one for a while. Okay, so now I'll tell you one thing there's never a shortage of when you're in this hobby, and that is plastic boxes to hold stuff.
Mitch, you push your blue pad forward like 3 inches. Good, perfect.
Oh, you're looking at the top view. Is this? I don't know. Maybe this view might actually work better for what I'm doing now. And plastic bags. God, listen. I'd like to have the plastic bag concession. Not only that, but look, here's a plastic bag.
You sell weed,
and then inside the plastic bag is another plastic bag.
That's an eighth. That's like a nickel bag, dime bags they used to have.
Dime bag. Yeah, well,
right.
you get it. You can probably easily transition into the narcotics business from the bag inventory that you have.
You know, I saved those bags for a little bit, Mitch, and then they were fruitful and multiplied.
I actually save a few of them because occasionally for example, if I want to charge up 4 whoop batteries and carry them to the field, I'll throw them in one of these little bags, you know. But you can only save so many of these bags, and oh God, bags and boxes.
Yeah, I know about the boxes.
All right, so we got these motors, and we got motor screws and nuts. And in order to do that, I want to get myself a bottle cap.
Michael Blade likes the Umagawad, whatever they call it.
The Umagawad Acrobrat, yeah.
Umagawad.
Yeah, but he builds the Acrobrat, and I went to look for it, and when I went, I was going to buy that one, and it was out of stock, and I said, "Ah, to hell with it, I'm just going to get this," because you wanted the quad. And
yeah, we don't need
the problem in the FPV industry right now of people, whether it's the too many people getting into it, or whether it's the chip shortage and the electronic shortage, or whether it was Chinese New Year's that happened a few months ago. Everything is just out of stock, and it makes it hard to build these things yourself because, you know, you don't want to settle for what they happen to have, and of course, all the most popular sizes of everything that you want are out of stock.
Reminder of the motors you're using, Michael Blade wants to know.
I'm using the HGLRC flame motors, and they're 1407 3600 kV.
You didn't get the colored ones for me?
I got the purple ones for you. They're purple, and they're gorgeous.
All right. That's all right.
You're going to have purple on this quad. You got red on this quad. You got blue on this quad. This is going to be one color.
What's the KV again?
We need something white.
3600.
Okay.
That would be 2 to 4S, but you know it wouldn't fly and be a pig on 2S.
All right.
On 3,
these are my blue flame motors. Why do they call them blue flame? They're purple.
Well, they're purple flame motors then. I don't know.
Anyway, mine are they're HGLRC, and they are 2306 by 2450.
That's a great size for a 5S quad.
Oh, and that's what it is. That's right. That's a 3-inch.
This is a 3-inch. Yeah, a 5-inch quad. You want generally on a 5-inch quad, you're going to run 2306s or 2207s.
I'll just say this: I beat the hell out of these motors, and they've taken a licking and kept on ticking.
They're nice looking. They're nice looking motors. They're not the most expensive motors, but in this business, sometimes you find like the EMAX Eco motors seem to be for $12 seem to be just as good as their $22 motors.
The wires look kind of short on them. Are they going to reach?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah, they're going to reach. Now, let's see.
Hot Rod, I would never fly that close to you with something like this.
No, not like this. No.
No.
Kamikaze Carlos only shows up when
Whoops.
when he's got a whoop. All right, so the first thing I want to do whenever you're building a quad, the first thing that you want to check before you start screwing any motors in, hang on a second here, let's go to this. Before you start screwing any motors in is you want to put the screw that you're going to use into the frame, hold the motor, maybe this other one would be better. Let's see if I can show you this. You want to see how much of the screw sticks out. And you want to make sure that when the screw goes through the base of the motor, it doesn't stick out far enough to actually touch any of the windings of the motor. And these screws here are a little long, and they give you 2 different lengths of screws with each of these motors. So I'm going to go for the shorter screws. And also I'm going to take this little bottle cap, and I'm going to put some blue thread locker.
Good for you.
Not red thread locker, but blue thread locker. And
why is it in a red tube?
Well, it's red, but if you notice that the writing is blue.
And
So
yeah,
confuse
See, it says right there, blue.
I know, I see the blue.
And the thread locker is blue. So we're talking, that's what's important. Yes, but they always come in red tubes. I've noticed that myself. So I always like to use thread locker on motor screws.
Yeah.
Call me old-fashioned if you must.
No, I agree with you.
But the one problem I don't have ever is a motor falling off. And now
I always whoop around me, Mike Kenny. Do they drift around?
Got to make sure we get the wires.
Mike, I just want to tell you right now, okay? If your whoop is drifting around, that means you're not moving forward. Stop trying to hover and fly the damn bird.
Fly the thing.
Forward motion, always forward.
Forward motion.
And it's actually harder to fly slower.
Yeah, I mean, I keep telling people this. I'm like, it's not a GPS bird, man. You just got to be moving forward all the time. Always moving forward.
Sure you want to keep that cap right in the middle there?
Why not?
I thought you were going to hit it with the frame a minute ago.
Carlos, are you on pins and needles as you watch your new quad come together?
I was actually thinking of you getting crap on your hand.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, it's definitely hard to fly slow.
This is real. I mean, this is riveting work. I mean, this is riveting video, isn't it? This is action.
I mean, I'm just spellbound.
Pins and needles.
This is action stuff here. As a matter of fact, guys. Let me.
Don't tell me you're going to put action music.
Action music.
No, you don't ever. No, Mike, you don't ever want to fly. I mean, the more forward speed, the better off you are.
How's that?
That's pretty funny. Yeah, the drama's killing me, man. So we're trying to fill in, okay?
I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back.
Mike Kenny just is definitely hard to fly slower, and that's the thing, Mike. You don't want to fly slow. You want to be moving forward.
We don't
see a hole and you go for it. Don't look at the hole. Look past the hole and fly through the hole.
Mike, be the hole.
Yeah, be the hole.
Be the hole. One of my favorite lines. What was it in Caddyshack? Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, that's
you remember
right.
That? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. No, those motors look sexy on that black frame.
Man, I tell you, I mean, that's the only reason I bought them was because they were purple. Because I mean, fashion is important in all things.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't see all that when it's in the air, but still.
Oh, I don't know. Why do you think Zing goes to the expense of all their camo motors and putting all these multicolor rainbow-looking anodizing on it? They
No,
look
and I
great.
keep
I don't
meaning to
get that.
try out some things actually.
I love it too. I mean, I got
Do
some
you?
of the most beautiful Zing motors on a
Who sees
Marmot,
them?
man. I do.
I
Are
guess.
you kidding? Yes, sir. I see.
But I will just say this about HGLRC. I mean, every product I've had from them has been very good.
Their stuff is good. Gep RC's stuff is great. Is good quality. I don't hesitate. I don't hesitate to buy anything from those guys.
You've been reading a book, Rigger.
Okay, it's almost a quad. It's half a quad now.
Starting to look a lot more like one. Got
Yep,
motors
it's starting
on
to
it.
take shape.
Got motors.
All right, I say you're going to get 3 out of the 4 spinning correctly first shot.
Well, we're a little
I
ways
think
against
he's
spinning
away
motors.
from
Yeah,
that.
we're just
Oh,
a
no.
tad
That's
away
just-
from
this
spinning
is just
motors
a
yet.
prediction. That's all.
Okay, I'll keep that
3
in
out of
mind.
4.
But we're just a scotch away from
Are
spinning
you
motors
saying 3
quite
out of
yet.
4 right, Carlos?
Yes.
I think two out of 4 would probably be the best odds, the safest bet.
Yeah, the safest bet. I bet you got to change
And I mean,
3 out
any of
of
you guys that have
4.
ever built quads know this, but it's make sure when you do screw the motors in that the wires run down the arm that they're supposed to, because it's easy when you're looking at the bottom to have the wires sticking out, sticking out in the midair somewhere, and then you have to unscrew them and do it again.
So what do you think about those that rather than go to BL Heli and change the rotation, instead just swap 2 wires?
I think their name is probably Ed. That's what I think. Am I
Are
right?
you gonna
Yes.
Are you gonna get pretty shrink wrap to put over those motor wires or no?
No,
Oh, okay.
I can't. You can't put shrink wrap on
Yes,
this
a closed
because
frame.
there's no opening. Carlos,
Wait, what do you mean?
to put shrink wrap over here.
No, not over the whole arm. Just
No,
over the-
I'll just stick these down and put a tie wrap at the base.
Oh, sure.
I'll
I
twist them
mean, you
together. I'll
could
twist them
use
like this.
snake
Look,
skin.
can you see?
Oh, okay.
Can you
yeah.
see how I
Braided.
got them twisted
Yeah.
together and then tie wrapped at the base? Yeah. Why get too complicated?
Just a suggestion, make it look pretty
Oh, it's going to be
or cute.
when I build something, whether it be a computer or a quad, it is definitely neat. I'm the tie wrap king of the world.
My only thing with the tie wrap and the wires, and not that I don't have plenty of birds that are done just that way, but potentially the wires can chafe on the carbon fiber frame and short the motor.
Yeah, baby powder for that, Ed.
Yeah, that's not likely to happen if they're tied down into the middle of the leg. Hey, we'll make sure that doesn't happen. If you want me to put shrink wrap over the 3 wires, I can do that, Carlos.
What do you think? I think it's
Well,
just
I
more
mean, if you-
protection.
Okay, I can do that. I got to do that. I'll do that before I solder them on.
Gnarly.
That'll make it harder to solder, won't it?
No, I won't put it all the way to the motor. I'll put a piece just the length of the arm, just to carry it to the bottom of
Gotcha.
the arm. Yeah.
Still seems like it stiffened things up a bit.
Well, sometimes that's a good thing, she said.
Isn't it the same
No,
effect?
well, that's a good point.
Same effect when you braid them or when you wrap them,
Yeah, when you
twist them.
twist them, yeah. All right, so let's see here. We got to make sure I use the right size screws. It's very important. A lot of guys build quads and then find out that the motor does wonky things or it smokes, and they had a screw
Rubbing on a
going
screw.
right up through the bottom and right up into the motor and right up against the windings of the coil and shorted out.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
And the carbon fiber frame is conductive. So if a screw goes through the carbon fiber and into the motor, it's conductive, right to the frame, which is generally going to be grounded somewhere. All right, so am I somewhat in camera doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, those things are snug enough. They're not going anywhere, and that Loctite ought to keep them in place. Even got purple nuts here, Carlos. Go ahead. I left it. I hung it out there, Carlos. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. Do whatever you want with that one.
What's another day?
That was a setup for you.
It can't be that cold down there, Mitt.
No, it's not cold here, man. It's warm here, actually.
It,
Okay, so we got
it
four.
was cooler today than it was yesterday. We had a cold front come through.
Yeah, but
All
what is
right,
your cold
it is-
front? 70s, 60s?
This time of year,
currently
this
62 outside.
And you're considering that a cold front, right?
In
look at what
Florida,
they give
yeah.
you.
Gotcha.
Look at what they give you guys now. I've never seen it. I've never seen this come with a
Instructions?
flight controller before. Look at this. I mean, this
Pretty
is
detailed.
Could this look at this? This is what you usually have to go searching on. This is amazing to see this. Look, look at this. Look at comes
Mamba
with-
is pretty good about.
But I mean, look at a wiring diagram.
Yeah.
I mean, who'd have thought? I've never. You always got to look this stuff up on the computer, and then you're lucky
Shocking,
if you.
isn't it?
If it is, it's amazing.
No, Mamba is very. I like Mamba, man.
I've that's generally my flight. I use the Holy Bro F7s on the 5-inch quads, but I use mostly the Mambas, the Diatones, and the F4s, the inexpensive F405s are terrific. This was a little more expensive because it's one of the new F7s, but and it comes on bolted down to this board. Look at this.
No, it's like a stabilization board or something.
Anti-vibration.
No, it's just the way they're
Packaging.
packaging it, which I
That's
don't.
what I mean. Part of the for shipping.
Yeah, I don't get it because normally the Mambas come in a box about the size that the motor box came in. A little
Yeah, I've
smaller,
never gotten the
but
Mamba pack come
but an
up.
oblong box like that.
Ed, don't you have one at your place?
Yeah, but it's not a F7.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I
the
think it's
F405.
F405, and it didn't come bolted down to a plate like that.
No,
Well, this is
something new.
this is my build, so it has to be special.
You can.
Yeah,
You
well.
can.
Just saying.
What's neat as well is that the gummies these gummies here act as the spacers. So
You can
don't
actually
have
use
to. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, don't you
Yeah,
have another Acrobrat, Carlos, or is that the one that?
Yeah,
went-
he does.
No, I have another one, but this one has the built-in DVR.
No, I get that. I was just asking.
Oh yeah,
Okay. So what we're
you know
going
I
to do
like
is
twins. Ed.
what we're going to do is we're going to unplug the.
You didn't break it just now, did you?
No,
I'm just kidding.
I hope not. I was more worried about launching it across the room, to tell you the truth, than breaking it. All right, so what we want to do first is we want to mount the ESC, and how are we going to do this? Are we going to, because I want to use one screw for the whole stack. So,
What? Only
I-
one screw for the whole stack?
well, what I'm thinking is,
Surely it's got to have 4 screws in it.
no, one with not we're not. I don't mean one screw. I mean one long screw for the whole stack, as opposed to
Ah,
a short
gotcha,
screw
gotcha.
and a standoff, and then another standoff. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this long screw that they got here,
Probably where the
washer.
grommets
put a
come in.
washer in it, stick it up through the bottom of this thing, but it's going to be everything's going to be kind
Too
of.
long?
That's what
No,
the
but I can-
grommets are for,
I
isn't
don't, I
it?
don't know. What I want to do is I want to put this little rubber standoff that they give you, and put this on, and then put this on and see if it's a long enough screw. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I push it down and squish the rubber, I can screw the screw, which is good because that'll put some
Yeah.
tension on it. Can you see what I'm doing by squishing it down?
Yeah.
The screw actually does
the
come
nose
out
down,
the top, and then
if
I
you wanna
put
show us
then I
that
put the
way.
nut on it. So I think that'd be all right. It looks like there's plenty of room in there.
Not too tight,
and-
won't overheat.
No,
Well,
They
I
give
was
you.
just going to ask if maybe there's such a thing as too much squish, and maybe a little bit longer screw
Well,
might work better.
what I'm thinking about doing is taking and putting a smaller. I don't need the
rubber?
ESC that close. I don't need the ESC that close, that far off the frame. I'm going to put one
Spacer of some sort.
one spacer in there, and that'll do it perfectly. Yeah, one of these little rubber, one of these tiny little rubber
Grommet
O-ring,
thingy.
little O-ring things. Yeah, so I'm going to put one of them on, the screw with the washer on the bottom, one of them, and then one of the little rubber grommets. So we're gonna do this.
You know how hard it is for me to pick up those little things. Jesus.
Gotta have fingernails, Carlos.
And
I think what I want
don't
to do
know.
is they give you these little threaded standoffs in. I'm gonna put them on temporarily, one in each corner, to hold two screws in place. Okay, so that I can
Do the other
solder
ones?
and work on it, and then when I'm done, I'll pull them out of there, and
Yeah.
then we'll lower it down. But
Good idea.
I want to have that ESC supported somehow while I'm working on it. So let's, because they do give you these, which you could use if you want to. But I like the gummies on the flight controller. See, they don't have any idea what flight controller you're gonna have when you buy the frame. And a lot of this hardware comes with the flight controller. A lot of this hardware comes with the frame. And they give you this whole other little bag full of different colored gummies. I guess if you're building a girl quad, you
Can we
the
use
pink
those?
ones. Carlos, I am not removing these gummies. Although there is a slot here. There is one of those little slots where you can squish them together. But these gummies are not going anywhere.
I hear you.
This is officially a little boy quad with blue gummies, as
All
opposed
right.
to a little girl quad with pink gummies. I can't believe we still got 14 people watching this thing. I guess a lot of
Really?
them have gone.
It was
I guess
15 a minute ago.
I guess a lot of them have gone off to some of the other streams. But hey, guys, I appreciate
Hanging
Art,
out
Mike
with
Kinney,
us.
Jaber, Bob Casey, Michael Blade, Rod. Rat.
Justin's here. Rat's
Great
here.
guys,
Mike
Drone
Blade,
Life
yeah.
RC, Justin. I hope that,
Mike Roche. Tomas.
I'm having a good time, Carlos, and I'd be doing
Yep.
this by myself here, keeping myself busy anyway. So
Right.
I'm glad I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope that
Definitely.
maybe you either there's one or two things you're going to pick up, and that is I don't think I'm ever going to build one of my own. I think I'll just buy them, or you get the bug.
You
and
know
say,
what
"Wow,
I was
that looks
thinking
like
one day?
Looks like a lot of fun."
When I do come visit you, if I visit you between the meetup, we should do a build together. You can.
Teach him how to
Yeah, I
solder.
hear you. Yeah, Carlos is trying to sneak in another quad for himself. I know.
At the same time,
Yeah.
I know you have at least another one or two analogs that need new homes.
Oh, that's all right, Carlos. We can do it. All right. So now, believe it or not, it's time to solder. So let's
Woohoo! Pay
Let's turn
attention,
on-
Carlos.
turn on the soldering iron here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these wires that they give us right here.
Yeah, the chat's saying
And
they
we're
find
gonna-
it
and we're-
informative and good to watch.
Good.
They're enjoying
Good.
it.
Glad. So what we're going to do is we're going to
So let's check out.
solder the XT30 onto the cable, and then we're going to
Yes.
solder that onto here, and the capacitor, because somewhere in this mess there is a big capacitor. Okay, another bag. Full
We
of
have
stuff.
Mr. Crispy Hope in the house.
Chris, how you doing? Oh, look, they give you with the flight controller. They even give you longer screws. Cool. Look at all the crap you get.
Bigger
you get
frames, I
something-
guess, right?
Oh my God! Look at this. They give you. I've never seen this before, Carlos. This is a threaded plate.
Go to your down
I think
there.
I think this is a threaded plate that's designed to actually go on top of this, like this. See?
To protect it.
And you screw it in from the bottom. And if this has got threads in it, that's a great idea. So let's see. If
Well, that'll serve as your spacer.
No, this is the nuts. You don't have to.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. It's already there. Threaded.
Basically what you're doing is you're coming up through the bottom, you're going through all the boards, you go up to the flight controller, you put this puppy on top of these grommets here.
That's what it tightens up. Yep.
And then it holds the whole stack in, and just so there's no confusion, it says Mamba stack on it. At least it doesn't say like drink Coca-Cola, you know. Any opportunity?
Says, yep, the MK2s and the 3Ss all have top plates.
That's cool. I've never seen that before.
I think the Mamba stack I got had the blue grommets holding the two boards together.
Okay, so we got all of this stuff. We got a hot soldering iron, and I'll be right back, guys. I got to go soak the sponge.
You have a water bottle nearby.
Carlos, keep them talking.
He should stick the soldering arm against the back of his hand so we can see if it's really hot.
Yeah. Great suggestion. You know he's going to watch the replay and say, you dirty rat.
That's okay. I think he might get a kick out of it.
So what do you think? It looks like it's going to turn out.
Touch it to his tongue.
I think it's going to turn out into a nice quad. I just got to keep it up in the air.
I'm back. All right, so let's clear a little room here to.
All right, let me answer Hot Rod's questions. They are Viper FXT version 2 goggles. Viper FXT version 2 goggles.
They give you a nice little 470 microfarad capacitor here. Okay. So what we need to do, and I'll tell you another little thing I do. We're going to be soldering this this XT30 connector. The batteries, of course, always have this one on. And a little trick, whenever I'm soldering any connectors at all, I don't care what it is, I always take and plug another connector in it, because sometimes if you're not careful and you get this thing hot enough to melt to soften the plastic, that you'll bend, the pins will move. But if they're plugged in like this, they can't move. So I always do that when I install.
Oh, good suggestion.
Some kind of connector. So what I'm going to do first is I just
before you start soldering, are you using premium solder? Yeah.
Well, I usually do, Carlos. But
okay,
you know,
cool.
since this one, but this build is for you, so I went and dug through the workbench and got the cheap.
Got the old stuff.
Okay? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes, Carlos, I'm using premium solder.
I'm just busting your chops.
Very nice thin stuff too. The real thin. See how thin that is?
No, what's the I guess it's, what is it, micro and then mini? What's the HDMI connection for the FXTs? Where is mine? There's 3 different.
It's probably a
it's
mini.
the mini. It's
a
not
mini,
full
yeah.
size for sure.
There's
only 2 sizes of HDMI.
No, there's a micro, mini, and full size.
Yeah.
No, this is mini for sure.
I bought I actually, for my tablet, I bought a little thingy from Walmart. It's a full HDMI female to go into a TV or whatever, but on the other end it has the 2 other different HDMI sizes on it.
That's a good question. Where is mine? I had an adapter for that bad boy somewhere.
All right, I guess you can see this. You can see the soldering.
Oh yeah,
almost. Let me move.
I see you're using a
go.
chisel tip.
I
puckering.
always do. I love the chisel tip. And the reason I
It
do is
looks
because it's
huge, though.
it does, but the point on it is so tiny that you can get into the tiniest little pad with it if you want. Or you can go broad face across and get a big ass pad like one
Right.
of these when you want to transfer some serious heat. So the first thing we're going to do is it looks like these are pre-tinned, but I don't ever trust the pre-tinning that comes from these things. So I'm going to put these wires in here and I'm going to pre-tin them. I'm going to tin them again to make sure that it's got some of my good expensive Carlos solder on it.
There you go. Rosin core. What do you get?
Oh.
The 3760, 3764
Yeah, it's
or
like
something like that?
3763. But I use leaded solder. For the amount of soldering I do, the environment will survive.
Yeah,
And
leaded is the only
and I'll
way
use
to go.
lead. Yeah. If
Worry
I was
more
a
about
production,
inhaling it than anything.
if I was a
That
production,
no lead
if I was a
stuff is-
production house, if I was a electronics manufacturer, that'd be a different story. But the amount of soldering I do is not contributing to the death of the planet. Let's put it that way.
People
Before
breathing.
all the lead stuff came out, Mitch, I used to, you know how you always seem to need 3 hands when you're soldering?
No, too expensive, Hot Rod.
So I
that?
would just hold the solder in
191
my
on Amazon.
mouth.
What?
It should be 169 or 179. You can actually go to
the FXTs.
yeah, that's 191 is too much unless they no. Check it out. There has to be another one. Let me go look. Ed, watch the chat for a second.
Yeah,
For a
I am.
favor. See if I find these bad boys. I know you. No,
Those
you
are
can
what
get
I
them
fly
direct.
too, hot rod.
All right, FXT get FPV $170.99. Race day quads $170.99. Amazon is $191.
Well, who the hell's got them for that much money on Amazon?
It's a rip-off artist.
It's got to be another one.
Or
of
you
these
can go
third-party-
direct to the FXT website, and they have them. And they actually they don't take forever.
Okay.
No, I don't know about Alex. You go to FXT website themselves.
God, I know that somewhere in this mess I've got a couple pieces. There they are. Got a couple pieces of
Heat
shrink
shrink.
wrap.
Looking for the heat shrink.
Yeah. Things do get carried away when you're doing this. So is this even going to fit on there, or is it too tight? This is what they give you with the connectors. Nah, it's too small. The red one looks bigger. Nope. The wires are a little big for that heat shrink, so we will go into our heat shrink assortment.
Heat shrink assortment.
Oh, I'm serious. Look. It's got all this stuff, and we'll pick one out that fits.
No, I knew you were serious, Matt. You're always serious.
Hey, Hot Rod's name is Rod, right?
Correct.
Because you can if you want to just use it for that, you can buy the screen for $99. You don't have to buy the goggles, the whole thing.
No, you
Unless
can
you
buy the
want them.
screen. Comes with a little tripod mount too, where you can.
Yeah. And a very small sunshade.
Yep. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad little package. Okay, so we're just going to use black heat shrink for both sides, Carlos.
You can still see the red wire after.
I
the
know.
shrink.
I know.
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't
you
matter.
see,
It doesn't matter
Mitch's
anyway
color
because
has to be
you
matched.
can only plug them in one way anyway. For God's
That's true.
sake.
Right.
You can't. You don't need to see the color to plug them in. Now we're going to shrink them.
JST Drone is saying hello to everyone. Hello, JST.
Okay.
Hi, JSP.
I'll be right back.
There we are, and now I don't need to have the plug in. So there's our little pigtail.
Mr. Hot Rod, type in Amazon FX508. See what happens. Should be $99.
508?
Yep, FX508. See if that turns up to be the little screen for Amazon. The replacement screen. It's $99. They want more than that. Look elsewhere.
Are you tinning the other end, Mitch? Is that what
I
you're
am.
doing?
That's what I'm doing right now. Got the other end tinned. Now, we have a capacitor here, and what's interesting about these things is they have they actually drill a little hole here in the pad. And the reason for that little hole is to hold the wires from the capacitor. And that's I've seen a couple other controllers do that, but it's nice rather than just tack the wires on top.
Yeah, and see, the first time I saw the holes, Mitch, I wonder how many people have made this mistake. I was trying to put the power wire through
Now,
there,
I gotta
and I
tell
didn't
you,
realize they were for the capacitor, because it's like you said, it's a pain in the butt to get both the main power wire and the capacitor lead if
now
you're just
I
going
gotta tell
right
you,
to the
Ed,
pad.
I got to tell you, I have never seen a capacitor marked like this. There is no negative marking. There's only a red stripe on the top.
Well, that's a negative.
Red never means negative. Red always means positive.
I
But every
know,
but every capacitor I've ever dealt with, they always mark the negative. And if we put
yeah,
it in
that's what
backwards,
I'm getting at.
if we put it in backwards, it'll pop.
Yeah.
So is this red indeed positive?
Well, I
Does
guess
it
you
say?
need to look at the extensive documentation.
Well, the extensive documentation shows something that doesn't look like the capacitor that I have. It does have a shaded side here where towards positive. So it may very well be
Yes,
that the
Greg, I gotta say.
the red is positive.
Yeah, I gotta say. Yeah.
I mean, I'll guess. Worst is going to happen is it's going to smoke. It's going to smoke when we plug it in.
Doesn't
But
sound good.
I'll have a smoke stopper on it anyway, so we'll see. But I'm going to go with that. Now, before I do that, what I am going to do, however, just for the fun of it, is I'm going to go over here to the computer screen, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say
Good old Google.
capacitor markings, and see if I can find something that looks like what I have. Here we go. It doesn't.
Conductive polymer aluminum solid capacitor.
Yeah, but it doesn't say which is positive.
The red's gotta be positive. Just
You'd
like
think
you
so,
said.
wouldn't you? You'd think so.
I'll bet money on it.
Wait a
The
minute.
red's gotta be positive.
Hold a minute. I saw something here a second ago. Where was it? I saw this down here. Standard capacitor. No, it doesn't say.
Does the red match up with the lead?
Yeah, the red side matches to the lead. I mean, there's pictures of it. All right, so let's see what it is. It's an aluminum solid electrolytic capacitor. So let's go and type aluminum solid.
And just so everybody knows, electrolytic means that they are polarized, because there are capacitors made for alternating current where there is no polarity.
Sometimes they'll cut one wire longer than the other to let you know. But
Oh, I've heard of that. That's true. And it's
Just show me.
showing a shorter wire on the red side. See how the wires are different lengths?
Yeah.
Every one they show, the wires are different lengths.
Okay. Well,
So
the one that I
you
have
do they have
has
different
is
length
the
wires?
same length wires. Yeah. So let me see on a normal capacitor if the short wires.
Normal.
Well, the way we normally see them, the short wire is the negative side. On this capacitor, see, it's got the stripe with the negative on it. That's
Yep.
the way. That's what you usually see. See, there's a stripe that says negative, and that looks to be the shorter one.
I've seen them with stripes on both sides, where one
Negative
says
terminal
negative
band
one
and
says
markings. So why can't I find one with the red that says that actually comes out in words and says positive side? I can find all the ones that tell me what the negative side is. See, this one says negative band marking, negative band marking.
Is there a brand name on that capacitor?
No,
One you
there's
have?
nothing.
No.
There's nothing written. There's a red stripe and some numbers that say how big it is. It looks just like this. It looks just
red
like this.
positive, roll with it.
What does the chat room say? Should I flip a coin?
I have an idea.
What?
Do you have one of your own?
I've never seen a capacitor that looks like this.
No, do you have a capacitor of your own laying in your little bag of tricks?
Yeah, I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have any.
No.
Man, just the red is positive, roll with it.
All right. Worst comes to worst, we'll have to replace it. Okay.
That sounded like an evil laugh.
All right.
We're
No,
in a
it
light
does have,
stream,
it does,
just so
it
you
does,
know.
it does have a short. It does have a shorter. One wire is shorter. The red.
Mitch, okay.
Yeah, the red wire is
Listen.
shorter.
Mitch, your black
all
screen.
you gotta do, listen, this is all you gotta do. Hold it with a pair of pliers or something and just stick it right to a battery. And
I
if
could do
it
that.
blows up, you know
Well,
the
I'll tell you.
polarity
I'll tell
was
you.
wrong.
I'll do that. I'll take my smoke stopper, and I'll plug a battery into it. Okay. And I'll turn it down to.
We want to watch it explode. Come on, man.
I'll turn it down to
Stopper.
1
No,
amp
thank you, Ed.
here. All right, I'll turn it down to 1 amp, and I'll take. There's the red conductor, and the red is the short one. Okay. So I don't even know if I want to hold it in my hand to do this.
I was going to say use a pair of pliers.
All right. And I'm going to look the other way. I don't blind my. Okay, let's see. The long wire is the black, and the short wire is the red.
Dramatic music right now.
Mitch, do you have any ICE number near your desk?
It threw the short stopper.
Well, that's
way.
only because it's trying to charge up. Reset the smoke stopper and put it in exactly the same way. Then I
Yeah,
want you to take your voltmeter and put it on the capacitor and see if it still has voltage on it.
Well, believe it or not, I don't need to go through all that. If it doesn't pop, if I don't see smoke, we're in business. So I'll take the big one here, and I'll put the long side in the black, the short side in the red, and it didn't blow it. So that's got to
I bet
be.
it's fully charged now. I bet if you
that's
put a voltmeter on it, it'd tell you it was.
That's got to be the red. Makes sense that the red.
How about if he puts it on his tongue, Ed? It popped. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh no, he'd feel it if he put it on his tongue. That's more than 9 volts.
Do
He'd
it.
damn sure feel
Do
it.
it.
Go ahead, do
Here.
it, Mitch, do it.
Take one for the team.
I thought you guys were my friends. Honest to God, I honestly thought you were my friends. Okay, let's see if I actually get a reading across this capacitor right now.
You might end the show with a different hairstyle.
All this because they just don't give you any clue. Okay, that's on the positive side, and this is on the negative side. 2.7 volts. Yes, sir. That was it. It's working. Okay.
What size battery did you put in on that thing?
A 4S. 16
Well, it
volts.
should have been reading 18 volt. Or
No, it dissipated the charge. Capacitors are not batteries like they don't hold it.
I've had capacitors hold a charge for a
Yeah,
while.
not little 300 megafarad and microfarad capacitors.
Well, I'm just saying that meter you're using must not have a very high ohms per volt. Let's just say that.
This is a very good meter. Don't be knocking my voltage meter.
Voltage meter envy.
That's it. That's it. It's got voltage meter, got multimeter
I
envy.
I used to like to take those big capacitors from the old big screen color TVs that use the CRT. They have big old capacitors in those, and man, you charge those up 300 volts or so and put a screwdriver
Oh
across
yeah,
it, sound like a firecracker.
no doubt, no doubt. Okay, so we're going to spread them out wide enough for the holes. We're going to bend them down. We're going to stick it through the holes from the top with the red side going to the plus.
Do you snip any of that extra excess or no?
No, I leave it sticking out like that, Carlos, because, you know.
Bend it?
Hey, you want it to stick against the carbon frame.
Oh, man. Okay.
Captain
So
Obvious.
Yeah.
He'll do that after he solders it, Carlos.
So,
Hey, gotta ask.
I know, I get it. I completely get it.
I just want to make sure that when I mount, that the capacitor is up high enough.
So do you ever use flux, or do you just rely on the rosin and the solder?
I'll use some flux if for some reason the solder doesn't flow right away.
I got
You know, otherwise I'll.
I believe Ed said that these take a little bit more heat. The battery, the plugs.
What do you? I don't know.
He says it takes more solder or more heat to put these XT30s on or
Oh yeah,
XT60s.
the big wire, of course, soaks up heat when you're trying to solder it to a pad. So you need to use a little either a higher temp on the soldering iron, or you need to use a flatter part of the tip. But this capacitor's got to be up a little higher, like that. That should do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna touch solder that in there. Let's see, where's my?
You got to remember, Carlos, that whatever you're soldering, the size wire, whatever, tries to carry that heat away as like a heat sink from what you're soldering. So the little teeny tiny wires, they don't take a lot
They
of
don't
heat.
draw the heat.
Yeah.
So the solder goes on the whatever, and then you just feed it the.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the soldering iron goes on, and you feed it the solder.
Well,
kind of.
All right. The way I was taught to solder, but this was years ago and all bigger stuff than that, but was that the work is supposed to melt the solder, not the iron.
Correct. And you also have to know that when on a ESC board, the ground traces are much bigger than the positive side, and they soak up heat a lot fast. So it takes a lot more heat to solder the black or the ground wire on than it does to solder the.
Good point, Matt.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So there's the capacitors in the holes, and the pads are pooled up so that I can solder the wires on. Now I will trim off the excess. There. See that?
Yep.
Okay, so now we basically got to put this positive side in here,
Wow.
and I'm just gonna probably come in from the outside, come in around the capacitor, and then tie wrap. Well, that's not moving anywhere. That'd be fine.
I'm more worried about the actual connector. You don't think it'll pull, right?
What, this?
Not that, but the whole thing out of the board.
No, it can't. It can't, because when we're all done with it,
Oh, it comes in the side.
there'll be
That's
a
right.
tie wrap. There'll be a tie wrap, wrapping
Go lower.
the wire to the frame somewhere.
Yeah,
So-
you're holding it out of view. But
Oh, okay. At any rate, there's
No, I remember. Yeah, I've seen the other one.
wrong
Comes out of the
quad.
side.
Here. You see right here.
Lower.
See
There
the
you go.
tie wrap.
Yep.
See the tie
Yeah.
wrap. So this thing can't pull itself
Got
out
it.
of the board. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna this thing may not get done tonight, but when it is done, it's gonna be done.
Yeah,
right, Carlos.
Oh, we're not in a rush.
It is going to be done properly. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I want to solder these. I'm going to solder these leads on. And yeah, I know the thing is do I want to go around the capacitor? Yeah, I think that'll work. Just to solder it on the outside right here. Okay. Can you see that board in the? Yeah, you can see it in the picture there. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is
stop it, cat.
I'm going to heat up the solder on the board. Then I'm going to go up to the top of the wire and just let it all melt together real good. And see if I like the way that looks. It's on there. I would rather solder it.
It's on there.
I would rather have it go to a much flatter spot on the. I think what I'm going to do is. What they should have done is they should have put the holes for the capacitor on the inside, so that you could then put solder the wires on the outside. But I think I'm going to bend the capacitor up here, and I'm going to come in from the underneath like this. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing here, but
We can see.
gonna-
Get an idea of
gonna
what
If
you're
you're
doing.
coming in from the underneath, why don't you flip the board over? Wouldn't that be easier?
well, because it's going to be down fairly close to the. It's going to be fairly close, and I don't want to have to raise the board up any. No, this will work fine. This will work perfectly.
I probably misunderstood what you meant by coming from underneath.
No, I went under the capacitor,
I gotcha.
and
You-
no, that
you
works out
probably
great.
meant you thought he meant under the board?
Oh yeah, because there's pads on the bottom side of the board. You could solder it there too if you wanted. But what I'm doing is I'm going to really, now this is the negative pad, so this is the one that takes a lot of heat. But I'm going to leave that heat on there, let it get good and hot. Then I'm going to bring in the wire and let it puddle and get a big glob, and it's all melted. And now I'm going to let the heat off. Okay, so what I want to show you here is I want to give you a little look. Where's my, here it is. I want to give you a little look at the, and I'll center it after I get it all zoomed in, okay?
Yep. Wherever the flight controller is,
So you don't have to tell me that I'm not centered.
right by the number 6, 7, and 8 would be perfect. Yep.
Okay, so I'm done with with those things, and I'll turn the
I'm
off
going to
right now.
tend the pads on the ESC time.
So here's, well, I'll do that once I get it. So here's what, I don't know if you can see it or not,
Yeah,
but this
right
is
there.
what it looks like. The
Oh,
wires
looks
are
good,
coming-
man.
The wires are coming in under the capacitor, and they're all nice and shiny
No, that looks good.
solder joints, and that's not going anywhere.
No,
Nice.
So that works out pretty good. I got the red side to the red side, and now what we're going to do is we're going to, we got to mount it on the frame. The thing about it is, the way this thing works though is that you can't just mount it on the frame because,
You're going to zoom out, sir?
yeah, I'm going to go back to this other camera, it's easier. I'm going to just put, I'm going to put four screws in it for right now, and temporarily mount the board so that I can solder the motor wires. Now I'm probably getting a little more complicated than I need to get here. I could probably just lay the board down on top of the frame and solder, but I don't want to get solder on the frame. I want the length of the wires to be right.
Look, a nice little elevated, you don't bump your soldering iron into the
Yep.
frame, whatever. I get completely what you're doing, man.
And this is a very interesting way that they mount with the screws going through the metal tubing inside of the rubber grommet. Makes the screws flexible and yet takes the vibration out of it, but it's a pretty sturdy mount.
In answer to no-fly drones question, or no-fly drone, yes.
And what was the question?
The question is, do you just blindly solder motor wires and configure motors in Betaflight?
Yeah,
There
you have
is
no, you have,
BL Heli.
yeah,
but
there's no way to know which way it's going to turn.
There's no
and-
polarity on the motors. It's as weird how they work. No
Yeah,
fly
and
drone.
you switch any two of the three wires, the motor direction goes the other way.
Yeah. So that's the lazy man's way of doing it, is to swap any two wires. Same thing as a three-phase motor.
Yep.
But, you know, the professor people, you know, they'll go into BL Heli and change the rotation and all that.
Well, if you got a quad completely built in and you know the wires are all tied down, and it's easier to go into BL Heli than it is to try to resolder the wires, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know, but the only reason I always check them before I put the whole thing together is still laying around.
All right,
Boards
Carlos,
laying off to the side.
this is officially the rear of the quad now.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're going to do is you wanted some heat shrink on these.
Yeah, a little
On
extra
these wires.
protection, no strikes, trees, branches.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the heat shrink assortment.
And by the way, Bob Casey said, nice job.
Oh, thank you, Bob.
Oh, and by the way, no fly drone, last motors I replaced on a bird, I had no choice but to swap two of the wires because the USB port is broken off of the flight controller, so I cannot talk to the bird.
No sign language.
Excuse me one second. No problem. I just had to read an email. Okay. Let's see. We're doing heat shrink. So we want the smallest possible heat shrink that'll fit over these three. Let's see. One.
Do you only have one color?
What do you want him to do? Put some pink on there, Carlos?
I'm gonna absolutely kill him. Anything but black would not look right, Carlos. Sorry. I mean,
Nothing like yellow, bright yellow or green?
No, my interior decorating expertise would not let me put any other color but yellow, but black on here. There, would that make you happy?
I'm just busting your chops. I could care less.
Would this
it
make
could
you
be
happy?
They could all be different. Oh, but the heat shrink, yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's that'll be that.
Oh yeah, nice. See, that looks sexier.
Yeah.
It's like a finished product. It's like the hubcap on a wheel.
There you go.
In my, little opinion. Everybody likes different things. That's why colors were made.
Okay. That's two.
It'll look nice.
It's going to be gorgeous, Carlos.
Alfred, stop it.
Okay, there's that one. And one more.
Nice. Definitely. That just has sexy written all over it.
Are you able to see what I'm doing? Pretty
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good? All right, good. So that little cell phone camera works out pretty good, huh?
Yep.
Is that what we're seeing now? The cell phone
Yep.
camera?
Cell phone, yeah. It's
Cell phone on a tripod.
IV cam software.
I
And
wouldn't have known.
And it turns it into a well, it's a good cell phone. It's one of the high end my last year's model, so it's going to have a great camera. It's just this software turns the cell phone into an IP cam, which is really cool. And then you just bring it into a Stream Deck as any other camera, as a device, just like you bring in your SkyDroid.
Just for you, Carlos. He wouldn't have done this otherwise.
Just for you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Just a suggestion, a little extra protection. Is there any polish you can put on it to make it shiny? I'm just kidding.
Thanks for coming in, guys. We'll see you next time.
You did it. Mitch, you should have used the glossy heat shrink.
Actually, I like the matte finish preferably.
Yeah, I like. It's heat shrink. Period. End of story. This is a great little heat shrink gun too. It's like $20 It's like $20 on Amazon. Link in the description below.
There you go.
I do. I have links to all of these friggin' tools and things. You know how much money I made in Amazon affiliate referrals last month? Zero. Not a penny. Shows you how much my links in the description pay off.
Well, I mean, sometimes they wait till you reach a certain limit before.
No. When I say zero, I mean zero. They pay you if you get $10. They'll pay you. I haven't gotten anybody from Amazon for 6 months. Okay, so we got the heat shrink on there. Yeah, that looks okay. And now we got to solder the wires to the flight controller. And now because of the heat shrink, they're just all in the way. Okay.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
No, I can get them out of the way, no problem.
That's a good analogy, no-fly drone.
What's that?
He says, this is the male equivalent of Mitch lovingly crocheting an Afghan and sending it to Carlos.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I ought to sign this friggin' thing somewhere. And Carlos, you should be able to.
I told you to do that with your controller.
Should be a collector's item that you like a Shelby Mustang is worth more than a Mustang built by Ford.
Listen, if you even want, you could put a little lock of your hair, whatever you have left, on a little bag. And I'll fly proudly.
That's a bridge too far, Carlos.
All right, hold on a second.
He doesn't have enough.
Let's go to the top camera and zoom out a little bit and see if I can't at least let you see the solder, and then I'm doing a little more. There we go. Boy, that camera. Cool though. I need to bring that.
This is sharp.
I need to bring this camera forward a little bit. So
it's sharp though.
Well, this is a Sony video camera that I've got.
I'm just saying it's good detail.
And there we go. Okay.
Perfect there.
What do you think of that?
To your left, if that's convenient.
The other left. There you go.
Okay, there it is.
Perfectly centered right there.
I can work there. Okay.
So Mike Kinney, that would be the OG build. right? OG build. Old guy build.
You made that look very easy, Matt.
Yeah, really.
So
all
you
technique.
put nothing on those pads before doing what you're doing right now.
No, generally a fresh controller, the pads are so clean. There's no oxidation. There's no nothing on them. And if you got good solder, it's a whole lot neater without slopping it up with flux.
No,
You know,
I
there's
hear
flux.
you. No,
There's a
I'm a
little.
firm proponent of that, actually.
Well, there's flux in the solder. Now, I don't know if you can
Right.
see it, but now I'm showing you the advantage of this chisel tip. I can lay that whole chisel tip flat and heat that entire pad up at one time. See that?
Yep,
And see how nice and easy that works?
absolutely. It's beautiful. You can
All right, on
scooch
your
it
next
up
soldering.
just a hair.
Yeah, I was just going to
Scooch it
say.
up just a hair.
I didn't
There
want
you
to tell
go,
him in
that's
between the
better.
soldering.
So this you can. I mean, you can really.
It looks
see.
like little pyramids.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That's
And
beautiful.
I'm puckering
now-
down here. I don't want to say anything
I know,
else.
I know, Carlos. It just you're having a reaction.
I will
understand.
tell you this, Mitch,
Out of
right
body
now.
experience.
I have never soldered the, what is it, 12 pads on an escape as fast as you just did, ever.
I'm a professional, children. Don't try this at home.
Obviously.
Now, do we want to run the wires around? Yes. I can run the wires around the standoff and come in from the back, so you don't actually have wires sticking out. The
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever they're most protected. That's what I like.
And I like to do it that way.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm.
stuck-
That's
Now, I'm
what
not going to get any noise or any issues as a result.
No, that's the
Okay.
way I generally always do it that way if I can.
Okay.
Now, is that one nut you got holding down what's our bottom right? Is that going to get in the way of you getting to that one pad there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
right
may,
there.
it may, but I'm gonna. All that stuff is gonna be gone anyway as soon as I.
So who cares if you melt it
Yeah.
a little bit? Okay.
Yep. So what I need to do now is, I want you guys to see it, but I want to be able to do it at the same time without,
You may
where
have
I
to
can
zoom
see,
out
where
a
I
little
can see
bit
what
too.
I'm doing.
Right there is good center.
Well, let me know. I'll zoom out a little bit. Just let me know if I'm, if I get out
Good,
of the picture.
good.
All right. So now I need the tweezers.
The lead
And what
tweezer.
we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to come around from the back like this and come in, hold it down on a pad, solder. Oops, it moved.
You tinned the
Whoa.
motors, right?
You know, they're pre-tinned, and again, I should have followed my normal. I need to
And put a little
re-tin.
tin on the wire,
Yeah.
yep. I was going to ask if you had done that.
Because God knows what kind of solder they're using.
Now, Mitch, you just soldered over the flight controller.
Yeah, I know.
You're good with that?
Well, I actually soldered over the ESC, but yeah.
Oh, I mean,
because
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't splatter what I solder.
Oh, okay.
And
But
a
would you
lot of-
recommend that for someone else?
no,
It's
no,
not
I would recommend.
So maybe
Now,
you take a piece of tape.
let me
and
tell
put
you
it
what.
over
Let me
the,
tell you what they do. They do give you, believe it or not. Well, the problem is if you put it over here, you're gonna. If you put something over the top, you're basically.
Right.
I'm going to be soldering way out here on the edge.
Well,
okay?
now I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But what
yeah.
you just did was like. you
yeah.
know,
Well, it's probably not a good idea.
that's all I'm bringing up.
Yeah.
For a punk like me, I probably shouldn't do that. So, ladies and gentlemen at home, if you're an expert on soldering, go for it.
Okay, so let's try this again. Let me put a little more solder back on that first pad here.
I mean, he has been doing it since Methuselah, Carlos.
I mean, somebody soldered the wheels on the Roman carriages, you know, Carlos.
I was actually thinking more
Somebody,
like the. Do
somebody
you remember
had
the
to,
Singer machines that you had the sewing machines you had a pedal?
yeah, somebody had to
My
solder.
grandmother had one of those.
Yeah. Well, Mitch's first soldering had to be pedaled, generate heat. I think he has it laying down next to his stone birth certificate, right, Ed? Is that
Can,
what you said?
can you see what?
We're
Can you
seeing
actually
everything.
see?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you see everything? Okay.
Yep. Looking good. Now you're not using the tippy tip point, you're using the flat edge point.
Well, I'm using whatever I can to get the heat. You know, I might roll it into the
Yeah, yeah,
wire.
yeah.
So I want to, ideally, I want to touch the pad and the wire both at the same time.
Got it.
So the first thing I try to do is get the wire, get the solder on the pad to start flowing, and then I roll the soldering iron over. Now this wire is a little shorter, so but it doesn't matter because they're all going to be clamped between the flight controller and the. So I'm going to get the pad flowing, and then once the pad flows, I'll hit the wire, let it all flow together, then remove the heat and don't move it until it
Hardens.
solidifies. Yeah. So there's
So you got a
there's
pad of solder on the pad, and you got solder on the end of the wire as well, and you just let them flow together.
yeah, but I'm not happy with those two center ones. I'm actually coming in over that FET at too much of an angle, and it's just catching the tip. It's not really catching the flat, so I don't like that. So what I need to do is I'm going to need.
The size is the length.
I'm going to want to bend them up like this.
How about that short one? Maybe you want to put that one first.
Yeah, I
You
could do
said
that.
one of them was short.
Yeah, but I want to bend it up like this so that
More surface area.
it comes in over the top of that FET and then lays flat on the pad. That'll do it.
Is that the shorter one? Doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
shorter
he's
one.
doing the middle pad anyway.
Yeah, and here's the.
But Dugan talked about doing the middle pad first too.
Well, I can tell you for sure that they're not going to fall off of there. I'd like to see a little more solder on them, but they're
Is
well
it bad
soldered.
to add solder?
Well, the problem is then the wire will pop off if you
Right.
heat it up again. So you'd have to actually hold
Take it off and put it back on.
No, you'd have to get something to hold the wire down while you were trying to add solder to it, and.
It's a pain in the ass, Carlos. Okay.
No, I get that
Yeah.
because it's like redoing.
I'm thinking that that's going to be fine, but this is where having somebody else around here to say, okay, take these pliers and hold this wire down while
Right.
you only have so many hands. But I would like to see more solder on those wires. So let me see if I can't.
You have any kind of
And I'm
little
not
weight?
gonna, yeah. Well, the last thing in the world I want is for something to go wrong and this thing falls out of the sky. You know what I'm saying?
With crossfire, especially.
No, I mean with anything. It's your
That's
quad.
what I mean,
I don't want it. I don't want it to fall out of the sky. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put I'm going to put more of a pad on there. I'm going to put more solder, a bigger
On the
puddle.
ESC itself,
Yeah,
right?
on the ESC. Yeah, I just need to put need to really puddle up the solder better. There we go. That.
Taller pyramids.
And we'll try it again.
They don't need to be retinned, right? They have enough.
No, they got plenty of solder.
No, but maybe a little more glob of solder on the end of the wire. I don't know. I can't see it like Mitch sees it.
He's trying to get more on the pad.
Much better. I like it. Now at this point, I think I'm also going to go ahead right now and tie wrap this down to the leg at the same time. Can you see what I'm doing? Am I in the frame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do this now too. There we go.
The thing is right where it connects to the board is because of the solder makes it stiff. So you just got to make sure those wires don't move around and they'll be fine.
Yeah. And as long as you can get that gummy thing
Yeah, the nut on there, yeah.
around there, yeah, you got to make sure that doesn't get hung up on the wires. But there's enough curvature, enough room around it to get it in there. Okay, so that's the first one. That looks pretty neat. I like that. I think
It does look good.
Well, the next three will be better.
Yeah, I guess. Okay,
Well,
so let's
practice make it perfect.
take this off of here for right now.
It's kind of like when you fly, Mitch, you know, like the first pack, you're like warm up. And
Yep.
then you just get, you know, I'm just saying, all I know is when I have a bunch of solid.
Move it a little forward, Mitch.
I will. I'm
Oh, okay.
typing something.
I
up.
wasn't
Okay.
sure if you wanted us to see what.
No, yeah, I want you to tell me. I do want you to tell me. Okay, so now let's go and get these from the back. So which one?
Now, I
You got
forgot.
it?
Did you shrink wrap before or after the soldering last time?
What-
I'm sorry.
I didn't put.
Did
I
you
didn't put-
did you melt it or shrink it before or after? Do you remember
mean
it?
with the heat?
With the heat gun,
No,
yeah.
no. Doing it like this, I would shrink it before because I don't
That's
want to
what
heat
I-
up the. I don't want to
Right,
heat the
right.
carbon too hot directly
Okay.
because you'll melt the resin and ruin the carbon.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got to be careful with some of that stuff. I got all these little tiny pieces here that. Are getting all over the place. I'm trying to keep them together. Okay, there we go. Now, tweezers.
I've made my share of outside connections, no fly drone. I must tell you that. I can't do what Mitch is doing, wrapping it around the standoff. Yeah, I'm not. I can't do that.
And just for the record, what do you keep it at? 400 or 600 centigrade?
400 centigrade.
400.
400 centigrade, yeah.
Microsurgery.
It is, man. And when you go to solder and stuff like that, those pads suddenly become very small.
Only if it's good, Mitch. Push it forward.
Yeah, let me finish this last one.
All right, never mind.
I think
Mm-mm.
I need to put a little more of a tin on this one.
I mean, y'all could probably see how close those pads are together, and you
Oh,
worry about if
ridiculous.
you get too much solder, if it'll go to the next pad. And,
Yeah, they call that bridging. You don't want to bridge the pads.
yeah.
Is that enough? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on there. They are all on there. Not going anywhere. All right, did I tin these? I don't know if I tinned
I don't
these or
think
not.
so.
I know-
I think you
missed-
only did 2 of the 4.
Okay, I'll just re-tin all of these.
stop it. What do we? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
It's tripping on stuff. So that isn't secure yet, right?
No,
ESC?
because I'm going to be taking out those bottom white pieces.
Right.
They're just temporary. The flight controller is not going to be anywhere near up that high off the base plate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just temporarily holding it
Hold it
in
in
place.
place.
Yeah.
have you not been paying attention, Carlos?
I thought he was going to do it. No.
You
The
know,
question was like
Carlos
he was
is-
going to do it now. That's what I meant.
Carlos is just nervous that
Pricks.
because this is his quad and he's nervous.
No, it was a question like, are you going to do that right now?
He's like an expectant mother, man.
Well, I don't blame him. It's exciting.
Hey, Ed.
Yes, sir.
That's all I got to say.
But you know what, Ed? I actually get to fly this thing first.
I know. Well, I was going to.
I was thinking that earlier today.
I got to test fly it, so
And
break
I'm hoping that you also test DVR it and show us.
I will. Of course, I will.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
Send it.
Send it.
Yep.
I intend to. I intend to. You guys, while I'm busy finishing this up, you guys want to see what I a little here. I'll show you. This is a little. Why isn't it working? My computer ended a stream.
It's tired.
Sometimes it does funny things. It won't open up an MP4 for some reason. Let me close this and try it again.
It's probably because it's
There
a
it goes.
PC.
Okay. All right. So this is just nothing. It's just nothing special. It's just me screwing around out this morning out at the field. But look at the clouds, man. Are they cool?
Yeah, nice.
Well, who's the guy walking around?
Oh, that's
Airplane
Al.
dude.
That's Al. Al's got built
Al
one
Diaz?
of these. No. He built a. Anyway, you can watch my screwy. You know, I wasn't trying to be cinematic. I was just having fun. You know, just flying around.
Is this the guy that built that takeoff
That-
pad or that really big?
No, but this
okay.
guy built one of these, like an old style, the quads they used to build with the plastic arms, the white and red plastic arms, and it has a Pixhawk flight controller. I don't know why he got that up his butt to build that, but he did, and actually got it flying, which I would have bet 1,000 to 1 against. So, no, I'm serious. He actually got it working. But it's so fragile, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's got these flimsy plastic legs on it. It's terrible. So
Toy.
he was out there screwing with that this morning, and one motor wouldn't run, and he couldn't figure out why. And we finally figured out that one of his power wires
Came
wasn't
out.
soldered good enough to the power distribution board. It uses
Was he looking for something?
Yeah, his little FPV camera flew off of it. So they're out there hunting for the camera. These are the same old guys that put the airplane in the tree the other day. So, I mean,
Okay.
hurry up, Carlos. I mean, this is what I got to put up with at the flying field. These are the guys I get to fly with. You have no idea.
Look, they're going an ever expanding circle.
Do you know if they found it, Mitch?
Oh, yeah, they finally found
They
it.
did?
It's one of those tiny little all-in-one FPV cameras with the little board antenna.
See,
You know, they're
Oh
really,
shit!
they're,
you should
That
have
they're
been
was
flying in
hard to
between them,
find.
Mitch. That's what you should have been doing.
well, I didn't want to scare them, you know.
Well, that's the idea. Get their heart going. Nice and slow roll. Oh, but you got to keep going forward. It's prop wash. You see that, Ed?
I know. I was going to say something about that.
No, I didn't put this up so you guys can criticize the flying. This is just I made a lot
No,
of right.
well, I was
Hey, that
Carlos,
place looks
looking till you
familiar.
did the prop
yeah,
wash.
look at that. Look at that. Remember that place
That looks
right there?
familiar.
Are you homesick or what?
Man,
So you guys that are thinking about maybe
did you go
coming to
anywhere
our
near
flying,
that water?
no.
No, okay.
You guys that are thinking about coming to our flying meet, this is one of the places that this is one of the areas we're going to be flying. We can
I
be
mean,
able to
there's
go and
just so
fly
much
if we want
room.
to.
And I would like to point out that there's a lot of wide open spaces and trees to play with.
Yeah, I think I went around behind the trees here. Look. There you go. That's what's nice about the DJI system. It doesn't matter. You go down behind you, behind trees, it still works.
Ed, he's got to work on them rolls, right?
What are you talking about?
You got to keep going forward. You lost altitude, too much altitude.
Maybe I did that on purpose, maybe. You know what I mean? Just maybe I did it on purpose.
There are certainly times when I
You didn't go up to visit the nest,
I'll
Mitch?
tell you that.
You know, I didn't even think about it to see if the nest was still there or not.
I'm sure that thing was huge, and the bird that came out of it.
Oh, I'd like to just say this too. Happy Friday to everybody that has the day off tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is this your
Mighty
Roma?
nice. Yeah. Mighty nice of you to give everybody the day off, Ed. It really is.
You got some nice flights with the Roma. That's the 3-inch long range, isn't it?
I love that. Yeah, I'm building another one. I'm going to build a second one. I like it so much that I want to have a second one. I'm building the second one with a little better camera with a Nebula Pro Cadex, and
So can you do something
little
like that?
tiny bit bigger motors than what I have in this one. Not much.
So can you do something like that, but it be analog?
Sure.
Well, what I mean by that, could it be analog and have a DVR on board?
Well, you might be able to squeeze it in there. I got it here. I'll show it to you.
Probably
I'll
a
show it to you.
little tight, huh?
All right, we're all soldered up, but that's the park. Look at the size of that park. And over on the right there in that picture, Ed, was where we flew the first day.
That's where my drone is, right over there.
And
I
that's
call
where
that,
Carlos' drone is living. in
every
that
time I
water
look at
over
it,
there.
I
Yeah.
see an arrow. It looks like an
Yeah.
arrow. Arrow pond. Right by the left blade is my drone in the water.
Yeah, at this part of the flight, I said I'm just going to fly around and give everybody the overview. So you know,
Would
anybody
have been
that might
cool
be
if
coming.
an alligator got electrocuted and
There's
floated to
the
the top.
osprey nest.
And that's to the right, yeah.
Yeah, that was there at that particular spot, Mitch, is where I had the most fun because all I had was the little birds and the wind had finally died down enough.
I liked our Friday spot, actually.
Oh, the
Friday
Friday
was
spot was
good.
Yeah, that I really liked that spot because we had that big picnic area with the overhang and the bathrooms
Also,
over
yeah.
there and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Right turn, Carlos. Look at that. Beautiful
yeah,
right
there
turn.
you
Snuck
go.
one in. Look at that sky. That looks cool.
Yeah, it turned out to be a real pretty morning this morning.
All right, we got to put some motors together.
All right, I'm landing.
Coming
here.
in for a landing.
Coming in for a landing, yeah. I had it really smooth, and then the last minute I just hit a little too much throttle.
That works. As
Yeah.
long as it wasn't upside
Smoother
down
than
and
most
crashing.
of my
Let's
landings, I can
here. Let me
tell
bring you
that.
guys back in so we can see you. Ed, you're showing stuff off, but there was nobody could see it. I need a little water. I'm curious about how many people we got watching yet.
13.
Really? Wow.
And Drone 863 says, so how's the build going? He was
It
over
is.
by
I finished
Matt's
all this.
visiting.
I finished the soldering, and we're going to get right back to it as soon as I take a little break and have a sip of water.
Ed, are you taking the picture with the young ladies?
I am the one taking the picture. That is my sister and her two daughters that are touching the alligator.
And it's alive with the
No, I think
Electrical
it's dead at this point.
oh, okay.
It was not relocated. It probably became gator tail at some restaurant.
I was going to ask, are they picking out what part of the gator they want to eat for lunch?
No, I don't think so. This was taken, I don't know, 15 years ago now, maybe 10. But we lived on I lived with my mom at a place here in St. Augustine in the shores, and there was a pond out back, and there was this big ass gator. That gator's like 10 feet long, and weighed over 500 pounds.
This is the little Roma 3 that I flew that you saw.
Now, it looks squishy as far as top plate to bottom plate.
It's not
mean
real
tight?
tall. No, it's got a full. It's got room for the DJI the Vistas in there and the Mamba. It's got a Mamba stack in it. You know, there's plenty of room in it. It's
Is
not,
that actually a little bit smaller than the Acrobrat or no?
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about it. It's
Well,
it's,
I mean, the reason I was asking.
Oh,
is
yeah. They're this is a tank. The Acrobrat is a tank compared to the Roma.
What,
got
why I was
much
asking
bigger
about.
much bigger motors.
Why I was asking about an analog version was because I would think that like a split cam or whatever would take less room than the Vista would.
Well,
Well,
the
you gotta
problem
drink.
with the problem with the Roma is where would you'd have to mount the board from the split camera. You'd have to put it in the back,
I got you.
and the VTX goes in the back, and there's no on the Roma there's no mount board mount in the front. There's just enough room for the camera. I got the camera and the receiver crammed up there, so it would be tough to put a split camera in that.
I got
And a lot of times with those split cameras, they don't have a long enough wire between the board and the camera to go from the front to the back of the quad.
Yeah, I'm just not quite ready to make the digital leap yet.
Well, it is a leap. Okay, we're back, and we got all the motor wires soldered on there. And what I'm going to do right now is get ready to start mounting the stack. But before I put the stack in, I want to take the stack. I've lost the stack, guys. Here
You
it
just
is.
had it a minute ago.
I got it. I'm going to take the stack, and we're going to plug it into Betaflight and test it out and make sure that the stack is good before I solder anything to it, so that they don't tell me that I screwed up the stack. All right. So what we're going to do is going to come back to me first. Well, we're going to go right over here to Betaflight, and there I am. Okay, so we're gonna.
Hey, Ed,
Yeah,
what is Chris ready about? What is he saying?
I don't really know what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Holy mackerel! Guess what, Carlos? This new
Don't-
722 stack's got a USB-C plug on it.
Ooh,
That's the first flight
That's
controller
modern,
I've seen
huh?
that doesn't have a micro USB plug. It's actually got a USB-C. Wow.
I'd
modern.
probably screw it up trying to plug in my regular cord.
Okay, so it has recognized it, and we're gonna connect to it, and we're gonna move it around. And I don't see it. I don't see the gyro movement. I don't
I
see
saw
much
it
anything
moving a
happening.
little.
No, it's not moving at all. Why is it?
Chris Hope is saying he's going digital too, from what I'm saying.
Digital.
I don't know what happened here, but let me do this. Let me set it down, and calibrate the oh, there it goes. Let me calibrate the accelerometer. Okay. All right, it's working now. There we go. And
Got me nervous there for a second.
let's see, which way is the front? Front is this way, so that will be up, down, right, left, yaw to the right, yaw to the left. Okay, good. And the first thing I'm going to do with this, Carlos, is I'm going to go into the CLI. I want to see what version we have. I got an error message. What does it say? Error, no config. I don't think that matters.
I am going to trust it, Brian. No, it's not a kit. It's kind of like, I guess you can call it a custom built. We discussed what parts or what we wanted in it, and then we...
Betaflight 4.2.4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I did a diff all. I'm just going to save it off, and I'm going to flash the latest version of Betaflight on this thing.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Betaflight board. I'm going to save it to my desktop, and here we go. So we'll save that. So I got that saved. Now I want to go and disconnect from it. I'm going to unplug it.
Mitch, real quick, which CADX did
Yes.
you get? It has a built-in DVR, Chris. Which one?
It's
which,
a
camera?
Runcam Hybrid 2. Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Runcam
Yeah, he heard you.
Hybrid
I'll have
2.
to remember that. Yeah.
Okay, now I put it in. I plugged it in, holding the little button down on it, and that put me in DFU mode, and that's means device firmware upgrade. I'm going to go into firmware flasher. Oh, I need to find out what the target of this thing is. So hold on a second here. I'll get the instructions and see if it tells me the target. Base get flowing to mini, and it says here target Mamba F722. Mamba F722 underscore I2C. Okay. So what we're going to do, I2C, it's a bus, I2C bus. Okay, so we're going to go to Mamba F722 I2C. We want the latest version, which is 4.2.8. Full chip erase, load firmware online, and flash firmware. Here we go. We're now flashing your flight controller with the latest and
the latest and greatest.
Yep.
So you said this is going to have 4K at 30?
That's the camera.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I think that's what the specs are. I think it's
That's what I
4K
thought you
30 or 2.7 at 60 or something like that.
Cool. Even
It's
1080
pretty
at
much the
60
same.
is nice.
What is Paulie's orange run cam do?
I think you can do
I
up
think
to
it's
4K.
the same camera. I think it's the same exact camera, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd be more inclined to do 2.7K than the 4K.
Oh, well, it depends on if you want 4x3 or you want 16x9. A lot of people with those cameras do 1440p at 60 frames a second. And that gives you really great. That gives you really great, plenty high enough a resolution.
Excuse me.
All right, so we got it. We connect, apply custom defaults, calibrate the connect. Yes, the accelerometer is not calibrated, so we calibrate the accelerometer. I'm going to go in here. We got all these UARTs on this little board. Look at this. Incredible. Configuration, we're going to run through this real quick. Quad X, D-Shot 600.
Does it have
It's
the
got a
180?
32 accelerometer. We don't need a barometer. Don't need barometer. What are you going to call this thing, Carlos? Give me a name for it.
I don't know. Acro. Just Acro. Something simple. Yep.
Acro prick.
There you go. You can write that.
Oh, I like that one.
Uh, and the arming angle is 180.
Yes.
This is just preliminary stuff to set up, you know.
Dead
It's
in the
going to
air.
be a serial base receiver,
We'll talk
crossfire.
tomorrow,
It's
Brian.
going to be none of that. That's fine. Air mode on. That's fine. We'll
RX
want to
bus.
beep the the D shot and anything up here. We're probably going to want to go to bi-directional D shot. I think the firmware will support it, so I'm going to turn it on. I think I have to count the motor poles. So right now we'll just leave it at that. Accelerometer trim is okay. 180. Save and reset. And then we're going to have configuration, power and battery failsafe, PID tuning, receiver, modes, adjustments, servos, motors, OSD, VTX. We'll deal with all that stuff. So it doesn't have a VTX. We'll have to find a VTX table for it. And all right, the rest of the setup we can do later. But I'm going to do another dump here that says diff all and save this dump.
Fuck out of me. If I cut this up, you just look at it and don't eat it.
Who are you talking to, the cat?
Talking to Alfredo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I should have muted myself.
Okay, so I got these two things here. Now I'm just going to make a little folder on the desktop here, Carlos. And I'm going to make a little folder on the desktop, and I'm going to call it Carlos
Prick.
Acro.
Acro. Oy.
And I'm going to take these little files and put them in there for the time being. If I need to go back and reference it, I got the way it originally came, and I got it all flashed with the latest firmware. But that's all working, and we're happy with it now.
Yeah.
So we've disconnected, and we'll unplug from it, and we'll head back over to the workbench. Here we go. And now we are ready to mount it
Nice.
in the quad. So let's get rid of all these temporary standoffs that I got in here.
Oh, Brad Austin's in the house. What's up, Brad?
Brad, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. It's starting to look like something, isn't it, Carlos?
Absolutely. I was just looking at it. I don't know why. It just looks bigger there. I don't know. Than like it looks like a 5-inch, but you just can't tell.
Nah. If you had a
No, I know.
5-inch next to it, you'd say
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so. Yeah. So I got to get all these stupid little spacers out of here now. So I'm just going to have to unscrew them because I can't lift the board up over the top of them. So that's all right. But that was a nice way to keep everything
In place.
in place while I was working on it.
I agree. Wow. That's cool. And Bob Casey.
Bob's still here?
Yep.
Cool.
He says it's almost time for you to get ready for a cigar.
Yeah,
Professor
what time is
D.
it? 9:30. Yeah, we've been at this for 2.5 hours. I figure we'll probably
I'm
go
in no
3
hurry.
hours, and then we'll finish it on Monday at night, dinner beforehand.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
so
I
did
knew
I.
that-
Trust me.
I knew this was gonna go well. It takes, listen, to build one of these things right from start to finish. If you really, and if you're not screwing around, you can do it in 4 hours. But if you do it on a live stream, it's going to take 6 hours to do the whole
A
thing.
little longer, yeah.
May not. The second half probably go quicker than the first half because you don't have as much tedious work to do. You don't have to build as much. Mount motors, put those friggin' grommets in took an exorbitant amount of time. Okay, there we go. So now, what I want to do is decide how I want to space these. So I need. Okay, so that plug is under. All right, let's see how much spacer I needed here. I think, where was that little, I had a little
what?
blue. I had some little blue spacers, and I'm trying to remember where they got to. They should be here somewhere on the bench.
Weren't they in the bag?
No, they actually, here they are. They actually came. They
Oh, okay,
came
those,
on the on that original stack when
Stack.
it was screwed to that board.
Got it.
I think. Let's see how high up this one spacer makes it.
Hey, Doc Murdoch's here.
And then if I put the board on, that screw's nowhere near long enough. So we're gonna have to go with the longer screws. These longer screws right here. And then the rubber, then the board, and then the controller.
You might want to
That'll
try
work. That'll
starting
work.
small, Brad, with the FPV.
That'll work. Okay, that'll work good. And so I need the real long screws, and I need 3 more of that size rubber. Do I have them? What happened to them? They're on the screws on the little plastic thing. Look.
Oh, you left them on there, yeah.
I knew they were there. Okay. So we need that, and I need the longest of these screws, and the washers. You know, I like that rubber grommet on the bottom of it. I like the way this thing fits in that rubber grommet on the bottom. So we need this, and this blue rubber. This is one shock-mounted board, I got to tell you. There we go. And then another one of these big long screws. And a washer. Chris, is that
Yeah, I
Doc
would
Murdoch
fly
in the
that.
house?
Yeah, he came in. Brad Alston's in the house, and now Mr. Props off is in the
How you
house.
doing, guys? How you doing? Oops, what happened?
Brad Alston is getting the bug.
It is addictive and contagious, both.
And a lot of fun.
And a blast, yeah, just a lot of fun. Okay, there's 3, and 1 more of the real long screws.
Now, Mitch, this
Yeah.
is what, a little bit heavier than the other Acrobrat? Probably because of the DVR?
No, I think
Slightly?
it might
No? All the
might
same?
actually be light, might be even lighter. If nothing, it's not gonna be no heavier. It might be the same weight or a little bit lighter, I would think.
But yeah, it's going to be a good flyer, Bob Casey.
Oh, I think this is going to be an excellent flyer. In fact, after I fly it, you may have a
You
problem.
let us
You
know.
may have a small
Uh-oh.
problem on your hands.
I know where you live.
All right, so the capacitor points to the tail, always, of course, now points to the back, and the arrow points to the front. So this goes on this way, and we will now make sure that this goes behind all the wires. Looks good. And I think for the time being, I'm just going to use nuts so I can get to all the solder pads, and then maybe I'll replace it with that black plate when we're all done. I like the idea of that black plate because it can't turn. But for temporaries, I'll go ahead and put some nuts on this to hold it all in place. Now, oh, you know, there's one thing that I want to do here, and you don't have to do it, Carlos, but I like to do it with these Mamba stacks.
What's that?
They give you a shield. They give you this.
Right.
And you can put it between the flight controller, and it filters out noise, and then you solder a wire to it, and you solder that to the ground, to the ground somewhere, and it actually it's not conductive. And I always put it in on my builds, and I'm gonna do it for your builds too. So,
All right.
so what I need is I just need I need a little piece of black wire. So I'll be right back.
All right.
I can talk, but I
crashing
can't
into
hear you.
walls.
So entertain the troops.
Yeah. No, I'm reading them in the chat. Mr. Chris Doc Murdoch wants to help some of these guys get up and flying.
Okay, you there, Carlos?
Yes.
This is what you always end up with when you build a few of these things.
Wow.
This is the junk bag and scraps, you know.
Extra parts.
No, just scraps of wire and connectors and things. So if you ever need a black wire or a little piece of red wire or something, I can always find it in this bag. But I want a piece of black silicone wire. And I know I got some in here somewhere.
Doc Murdoch, it will not do D8. Not the one he has.
No,
He
he's
has
got the
ACCST.
He's got the new Access one. Yeah.
It's only D16.
Yeah.
He needs to buy the, what do they call that little adapter? The multi-protocol.
So you guys figured out, I mean, we came to that conclusion, but you actually verified on a couple of different sources that it absolutely will not
No.
bind to a D8 with
Nope.
the internal module that it has. I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Okay.
He keeps writing Tyrannus 2019. It's the X9D it was, right?
It's the X9D 2019 Special Edition.
Right.
X9D 2019 SE is what it turned out to be. Tyrannus is very confusing. You know, very, very confusing.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why they're losing so much to Radio Master right now, and Jumper.
Yes, what he said.
Okay, there's your
EMAX,
there's your little shield,
nice.
and now
And
we're
grounded, huh?
well, it's got the ground wire. We'll hook
it's
that up
gonna be
later.
grounded.
Yeah, we'll ground that later, and we will put this now over this. And that's going to be screwy because the rubbers are going to get all screwed up. So
Bob wants to know what camera you're using again, Mick.
Wow.
we're using the Runcam Hybrid 2. The Runcam Hybrid 2. So I need to actually stretch this thing over the top of these little gummies. Surely they must have thought that these are going to have to be installed this way and could have made the holes a little wider in here. You'd think that they could have done that if they'd put a little bit of forethought into it, but no. So what I need to do is I need to try to stretch these holes out with something, make them a little rounder. So what do I got here that I can stretch the holes out? Can I stretch the holes out with this? Yes. I can stretch the holes out with this. Perfect.
Don't say what you're thinking, Ed.
Carlos, nobody's thinking that but you.
Did
Nobody.
Ed drop out? Is he still there?
I don't know what happened to Ed. I'm sure he's probably still there.
I'm here. I've just been muting myself because I'm eating lasagna.
Lasagna. Well, enjoy. Bon appetit.
This is the kind of stuff that ends up taking time when you're building. It's just this little
Tedious.
shit, tedious shit that you have to figure out how to work around something that should work, but just ain't going to the way they. And I could leave this out. I don't know how many people actually take the trouble of putting this shield in there. I just figure with an analog system, it can't hurt. You know what I mean? It may not help, but it can hurt. So let's put it in here anyway. Here I thought I was done screwing with grommets, and then here we go again. But this
X-Lite's a good radio, Brian.
Yeah, you like the X-Lite, don't you, Carl?
I like the X-Lite. I like your QX7. I like them both, but I probably would gravitate towards the X-Lite.
I would, if I was just getting into it right now, I would either get a Crossfire Tango 2 or a Jumper. I mean a Radiomaster T16. And with the Tango 2 now, you can get a module that'll run all the FreeSky stuff.
Everything else? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I think you can. I heard about it. I've never seen one, but
Uh-oh.
I think they have a module for it.
Sounds like the Mavic 6 to me.
Oh, just God! Don't even talk about that Mavic 2S thing. Just when we got over that friggin' FPV drone, finally we stopped hearing about that. DJI hits us with another one. Okay, front of the quad this way. Little arrow on the flight controller this way.
Props off says I don't use the EMF shield. I run a redundant ground.
Well, they give it to me. I've always put it in with the Mamba controllers, so I figure why not? It's there.
Use it.
It can't hurt. It cannot hurt. It can it can't make it worse. I don't think so. So we'll give it a whirl. We'll use it. So there you go. So what?
What's funny is, on my last Mamba stack I changed, I used the shield, but I didn't know you had to solder a wire to it.
Oh, well, even without the wire, it may have done something. But with the wire, it definitely it's a ground between the two.
Brian B-Max got the, what do they call this? The Air 2 waiting for him at Best Buy for tomorrow morning.
Oh, God. I mean, it's selling. So many people bought that thing. And I would be pissed if I had, people went and spent all that money on the FPV drone, the DJI FPV drone a month ago. And now here we go again.
Good for them.
What are we going to have to buy next month? I mean, DJI, come on, give us a break here.
A sale on batteries.
It's just, personally, I've been able to break my habit of always buying everything DJI comes out with on the first release, the first day. I bought the Mavic 2 Pro 2 years ago when they first released it. And I'm still flying it, and it still does everything I need.
What was the one you
maybe
bought
it,
that I
maybe
told you
it
you were
doesn't
going to
shoot.
return?
Maybe it doesn't shoot for. What's that?
What was the one you bought that I said you were going to return? What did you buy?
That was that little Mini, the Mini 2.
Oh, the Mini 2. Okay.
Yeah, that was the Mini 2.
I blame
No,
you.
so I have two Mavic 2s now, and that's for the for all the photography flying I do. That's all. It's good enough. It'll be good enough 10 years from now. I will never need to take better quality video than what that thing will do. Okay, I think just got to make sure that ground wire that's on that grounding shield isn't hitting anything. That's another consideration. You put that shield in there, and then
double-edged sword.
Is it going to short circuit something? And doesn't appear that it is. That's weird.
Brian bought himself a new toy. What happened? Weird part.
No, I'm just looking at if that ground wire is anywhere near any of the little integrated circuit chips that are on the bottom of the board.
Gotta worry about that. It's not even worth it.
It looks okay. And now I want to just kind of throw a side plate on here for a second and see. Let's see where the front is this way. I want to make sure that see where how tall the stack is and see where that comes in. So we have room for a battery strap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the screws will be a little shorter, but oh yeah, yeah. You see? Can you see from the side?
A lot of room still.
How much room you got in there?
Camera's going to be in the front, you said?
Well, I hope so.
No, I'm sorry. I meant the DVR part.
Oh yeah, the DVR is going to be mounted right to this little 20, right to this stack here, 20 millimeter stack. The DVR board will go right there.
I'll be able to get my finger in there.
The VTX will go right. The VTX will go in the back here. May mount it to these mounting holes. May just double sticky tape it back a little further, but it'll be back there. So everything will work out. Everything's going to work out.
I just want to be able to get a fingernail in.
Oh yeah, well, you know, you shouldn't have any trouble getting it in there. Let me take a couple of tie wraps in.
Did you blow dry my shrink wrap at all?
Yeah.
Not all of them. Did
Yeah,
you?
I did. Yeah, they're all tight.
missed
Yeah.
it.
Well, you weren't paying attention.
All four? I thought
All
one was
four.
loose. Oh, I
No,
missed it.
all four. Did all four of them. You could certainly tell by looking at them
Yeah.
whether they're shrunk or not.
Nice and neat.
Yeah, well, you know, I like them. Like them to be tied up. And one more.
Just say yes, but this is under 250 grams, right?
No, not even close.
Damn it. You're supposed to say yes.
I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm not.
Yes, Carlos, it's under 250 grams.
That's what I thought.
How many people are running around with scales in their pockets out there in the world that are going to stop you and say, "Excuse me, sir."
The FCC police.
But I couldn't help but wondering if your quad is over 250 grams, and I need to call the FAA on you. Okay, so that's that, and now we plug in the flight controller to the board. Voila, like this, and that is plugged in, and we have power, and we have motors, and we have beta flight.
Nice.
So now it is time to see if we have smoke.
Oh, jeez.
So we'll take the smoke stopper, we'll plug the battery into it, and we'll set this to 1 amp first and see what happens.
What kind of battery is that, Mitch? Other
It's
than
a gold-
850, brand new.
It's a gold line.
Gold line?
Yeah, the battery that everybody just put up videos about telling me how bad it was after I just bought 2 of them. Meanwhile, I tried my first one of these today and got a 7.5 minute, 8-minute flight on that, which was a 1.5 minutes longer than I got with my Tattoo R lines. So far I'm all right with these batteries. We'll see how they hold up.
Right.
All right, hold your breath. Ready?
Yep. Ooh, got the music.
Got music, got lights. Cool. Okay, so
And no smoke.
we didn't have smoke, so let's take this and we're gonna spin the motors and answer the question of the hour,
I said
and
3 out of 4.
that'll be the stopping point for today.
I say 3 out of 4.
Okay, so here we go. So let me bring this back to me, and let me bring you guys back in the picture. Oh,
Props
what are we
out,
looking
right?
at there, Ed? Props
Little
in.
baby picture. Oh, it's props in.
Well, yeah, I would.
Oh,
put
yeah,
the
that's right. Props in, props in.
You want to keep all your quads the same. I mean, I don't want to have some props out, some props in. I've already seen a guy flip out wildly at one of the parks. He was flying and he had his props on completely backwards because half of his quads are one way and half of the other, and he forgot which was which. You know. Doesn't make any sense.
My,
All right.
mobile
Plug the flight
props.
controller into beta flight. We will go over here to beta flight, and I will give you that beta flight, and I will go over here to beta flight and make this a little bigger, but leave you guys in it. Let me connect to the quad. Everything is, make sure the front is front. Up, down, right, left, yaw left, yaw right. Okay. So the flight controller is set up right, everything is mounted right. Let's go to the motors tab. And let me check the, we got D-Shot 600, we got 8K and 8K, which is great for a 722. Right now I've got bidirectional turned off, but let's just see. I think I got a 32-bit ESC. Ah, shit, I got to count the motor poles. So let me see if I can see real quick how many motor poles we got. I should have counted them before. Probably 12, but maybe 14. Ah, we'll worry about that later. I wanted to see if they spin. That configuration is set up right. Let's go to the motors tab. Let's go.
You have to have it plugged into a battery to get this to work, right?
Yes, now I have to plug the battery in.
Okay.
And,
Just a heads
and then the
up.
motors will run. What?
There's a wager. He has 4 motors. How
said you
many
Oh,
that's what we're
motors
doing.
will spin the right direction?
I said 3 out of
Well,
4.
Carlos said 3. Okay, so here we go. Hey, they're spinning.
That's a plus.
You hear them?
Yep.
Okay. Wrong, right, wrong, wrong. One
Damn,
right,
you
3
went the
wrong.
completely opposite.
That's what I said. I predicted it.
Oh, you were right,
Oh,
Ed.
man. How cool is that? Okay, so let's hang on a second. Let's disconnect. Let's go to BLHeli. I think I got BLHeli.
Do you know which one's a which?
I think this is
You
no.
remember?
I'll go. No, you're right. I need to go in and spin them up and see. But let me see if I got the BLHeli here. BLHeli Suite 32. I think this is what I need. BLHeli exec. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back into beta flight here, and let's go connect again. What is this? Update BLHeli available. Do you want to go to the web page? No, I'll use the old one. That'll work. We're just reversing motors. Okay. Let's go back to the motors tab. And I didn't even keep track of which one was wrong and which one was right. So
You're going to
let's
start
check
with number 1.
Let's check them. I'm just going to check them motor by motor and make sure the right rotor's in the right place, which it should be. Okay,
That's
which is the
clockwise,
front?
supposed to
The
be.
front of the quad is there. So the one in the back, number 1 is wrong.
It's
Okay,
not clockwise, huh?
number 1
All
is
right,
going
1 is wrong.
counterclockwise. 1 is wrong. So the rest of them, well, no. Number 2 is wrong also. Number 3 is wrong also.
Oh, so
And
4 is the
number
only one.
4 is correct. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So I got to change 1, 2, and 3, right? Okay, so let's go into here. Let's go to connect. Connection failed. Did I disconnect from beta flight? What the hell?
I don't think you're
I
disconnected.
wonder, I'm pretty sure this is a 32-bit ESC, but it may not be. It may be BLHeli S. One quick way to find out. Hold on a second here. I was pretty sure that,
It's the 32 or the regular.
yeah, I think they actually did away with the I I don't know why that's not working, but let
The
me.
one you have, it was upgradable. They said no.
Please check serial port settings. Hold on a second here.
Doc Murdoch was saying make sure you disconnect from Beta Flight.
Beta flight. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, where the hell is? I think I'm pretty sure I'm disconnected. I think I closed the whole window.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I'm disconnected from
disconnect.
Beta flight. Well, I gotta wait a second for it to find the serial port. Okay, now I'm connected. Now I'm disconnected. Okay, so this may be an old version. Yeah, this is a real old version of a year and a half old version of BL Heli. So let me see if I got the newest version. Let me see what else I got here. I don't have too many 32-bit BL Heli Suite. BL Heli Suite 32, 36, 16. Yeah, this is a more recent one. BL
I've been
Heli.
on top chat instead of live chat. Knucklehead.
Have you? Let's check this one out. Update BLS Suite 32 available. Do you want to go to the web page? Now let's try this one. Connect. Connection to flight controller
drone
COM3
S.
failed.
Don't you have to disconnect and reboot FC to connect with BL Heli?
All right, we're connected. And
Ooh, Metro Drones just dropped you a $10 super chat. Hello,
oh,
Bill.
really? Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much, my friend. Good to see you. Let me read the setup here. And why does it say erased or unknown firmware? I don't understand what that means, but let's. Most likely a write attempt to the CSE has failed. Oh, great. All right, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to try to rush through this here, Carlos. All right? It says, do you want to try to flash again with BL Heli to remedy this feature? Yes. Now what happens? Update BL Heli 32. Do you want to go to the web page and download it? No. Okay, I am going to close this out, and I'm gonna fool with this myself because I want to get the latest version of BL Heli, and I'll fool with that later. But we got the motor spinning. I know we need to reverse some of them, and I will.
One, two, and three.
I want to dig into the specs of the ESCs and see what version they come with and everything else. And I don't want to rush through that on this thing. But let's go back
You have to reverse most of them, not some of them.
Yes,
1, 2, and 3.
Most of them, yeah. Let me go back in here just for fun, spin the motors, and make sure that I didn't. There we go. All right, perfect. So we got that far. And,
good. That's a decent amount.
Good. Okay, so let's unplug the motor, the battery, and unplug this, and plug the flight controller, and there it is so far, Carlos. A whole night's work, 3 hours, and we have.
I'm liking it.
What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a nice. It looks like it's going to be a nice little quad.
Need to put some bright green or yellow props on it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm waiting for Metro Drones to put out a video.
Man, I want to show. What's that? You're waiting for Bill to do what?
Yeah, do a video when he was chasing me with his. What do they
Oh,
call this
right.
thing?
I want to show. Now that this is
one.
over, Carlos, and I can take my little webcam up here. I want to show you what a friggin' mess I got here.
Well, first of all, your idea of a mess and mine are two different things.
That's a mess. I got shit everywhere, all over my table and everything. Got radios and goggles and quads.
Oh yeah, you have the Acrobrat with an air unit, right?
Yeah.
Show my.
I have it with an. I built it with an actual air unit.
No, show nitrate. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I built one where I actually had to move the stack up to the front. I moved the stack to the front, extended some of the motor wires to reach it up there, stuck the air unit where because it's got that angled thing in the back, and that's as far back as you can actually push it. But
7-inch I have a 6-inch chameleon.
it flies great though. I mean, it flies
I
terrific.
like it. It's fun to fly.
There's the antennas for the air unit just sticking up. I strapped them together so they don't flop into the propellers, and 3-inch props. Immortal T antenna on the back.
Excalibur.
Yeah.
That's the one where the motor was in the front, right? It's completely different.
Yeah, the Excalibur is the one that looks like a sword. It's got it's a cross straight. Yeah, interesting quad. Well, guys, there we go. We did it.
Thank you very much.
Woohoo.
Well, yeah, and Monday night we'll
What time you
finish
said?
it.
7?
7 o'clock Monday night,
Nice.
and that's going to be the regular deal on Monday night.
Going forward.
Going forward.
FPV Mondays.
Yeah, and we'll do the workshop, and we'll start this Monday by finishing up this build. We'll wire up the flight controller, install the camera and the DVR, and
I'm interested how it looks with the camera on.
and the VTX and the antenna and the receiver.
So
That's right. It
3
came with
hours.
an antenna, right?
What came with it? The receiver came with the Immortal T. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
So we're all
So
set.
3
But-
hours and 14 minutes. Is this your longest stream, Mitch?
No, we went
we did a
6
6
hours on
hours.
one. I think we had a 6-hour build one time.
remember
think
that.
it just that was crazy. That was nuts. Way too much. Way
My
too
butt
much.
hurt.
Yeah.
And my back.
But I appreciate everybody that came in, and I appreciate everybody that actually hung in there with us. And we had like between 14, 15, and 20 people. We got up to about 25 at one point. And on a night when there was 20 million other live streams, I didn't expect to get to be that good. But what I hope, guys, Carlos and Ed and you guys that are watching is that, they got something worthwhile out of it. 'Cause,
I'm sure.
I guarantee it would be a lot easier to just build it. To just sit there and build it
Definitely.
without anybody watching. But I thought
Tips
I
and
thought
tricks
this
on the way.
might be good. And I'm
All
tired.
right, so one day I'll have to talk to Doc Murdoch. He can sell me an Excalibur so I can get myself into trouble with one of those.
Yeah, right.
That's all I need. Jesus.
Chris, leave him
7-inch
alone,
flying
man.
blender.
Chris, don't corrupt the poor young guy. Come on. So who we got here? Let me say goodnight to everybody. Chris, Doc Murdoch, No Fly Drones, Brian, BMAC, Mike, Night Train's still here. Glad you guys hung in there with
Metro
us. Bill,
Drones.
Metro Drones, thanks for coming.
And leaving a super chat.
Ed and Carlos and
Bob
who else?
Casey Aerials.
Bob Casey is he's still here? Yeah.
He
Good, man.
was.
That's
Brad Alston
Brad
was
Altman's
here.
still here. Yeah, man. It's a marathon
was here.
tonight. But thanks for
And
hanging in.
Rigor Mortis
Props
was
Off
here.
was in here before.
Rigor Mortis was here earlier.
Good to see you all. Okay, guys, I'll say goodnight, and we'll let Spank say goodnight, and then
We'll talk
see you on
soon,
Monday.
Mitch. Ed,
okay, buddy.
hopefully you'll fly tomorrow. I'll catch up
Yeah,
to
make it day 14.
There you go. At least
Wow.
3 packs.
Later, everybody.
Take care,
You're
guys.
an animal, Ed.
Yeah.
And that just leaves me. So I'll bring in some music. There we go. And say goodnight. So thanks for coming, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time, but I'm seeing stars now from focusing on that tiny little thing. And time for I have a little cigar. I'll finish up and hit the sack. And I will see all of you on Monday. And I'll turn it over to my trusty sidekick, Spank the monkey, to say goodnight.